Audio for me. Ooh, 1, 2, 3 audio. 1, 2, 3.
Give me a second.
Wait till the stream goes live. Hi, people. It's going through the lag period at the moment. That's muted, so I won't double up there. Mrs. W selling me the audios is good. That's good enough for me. Good afternoon, everybody. How are we all in the new year? Got an echo. Okay.
It might have been while I had the speaker.
It might have been why Mrs. W had the laptop.
I'm abbreviating my sentences.
Debbie, good afternoon, sweetheart. Nice to see you in here. I don't believe you visited before, have you? I do know who you are, don't worry. No echo. Yeah, I think it was because Heather had her laptop open doing the sound check for me. We won. Good afternoon. Yes, that was yesterday we won. Dale P. Another new name in the chat. Oh, hello. What have I fucking pressed on here? Oh, well. Oh, there we go. It's all right. It's me cocking up again this end. Well, I hope you all had a good new year. Didn't get too wrecked. Fine. No, Rubber Chuck, it's when I first go live, there's a discrepancy, a lag between StreamYard and YouTube. And I use that brief period where Heather has, because she uses her laptop in the background there, she does an audio check for me. So her speakers would have been coming over the mic in retro, as it were. Phil, good afternoon, mate. Welcome. I do have an announcement from one of our regulars in here. Unfortunately, Resist the Dystopia won't be in for a little while, actually. As most of you know, he hasn't been very well lately. And watching all the crap and everything that's going on YouTube is not helping him recover. He needs to clear his head. So he's taken a little break from it. He's been in touch with me personally. He's absolutely fine. And if you are listening in the background, Resist, wishing you all the best, mate, and for a speedy recovery. I know you're on the way to it, but if stepping back for a while is going to help, then absolutely, buddy. We all do it. I've had to do it.
You're going to walk all over the keyboard and send a message.
You've got the cat up there, have you? Thank you, YouTube, for letting me know I'm live. As if I didn't know. Okay.
You can only be seen when you put your chin up.
Who, me?
Cat.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me then.
Yeah, you're on my lap. Doofus.
But yeah, already this year it started, hasn't it? You know, we got Sunak up there lying. Still relying on we've completed our tasks that we set out. And I keep saying, have they fuck? They ain't even completed any. Well, they ain't even started most of it. But I believe now, looking at the two of them, him and Starmer, that the election campaign is on the way. They've started. Lee, can you say hi to Yana from Russia? I thought you was going to say, can I say hi to Yana in Russian then? Hi, Yana, wherever you are. But I very much doubt this stream will be going out in Russia.
I said from Russia.
Oh, from Russia. So, hi. Sorry, Yana. Sorry about that. Yes, Debbie, he's a lovely gent. He's very, very active in the channel, both on the live streams and on the videos. But yeah, it's nothing. Well, he hadn't really said, but he had pneumonia, I think, he said was the main one. And as we know, you can't be getting yourself worked up and stuff on that. That's right, Lee. No worries. Well, I calls him Stamper, Ollie. Dear Stamper. And it was quite funny, actually. I was very, very rude yesterday. About 6:30, 7 o'clock last night, we got a knock on the door. So I went out, and there was a lad and a woman stood there. And without saying a word, he said, "Good evening, Roger." And my first words are like, "How do you know my name, and who the fuck are you?" And the reply was, "We're from the Labour Party canvassing on the local mayoral elections." My instant reply was, "Hell no, fuck off and shut the door." I didn't even think about coming in and getting the camera and standing there and have a debate with them. But I don't think they'll be back. But I will have a camera ready to go just in case the Tories knock on the door. And I certainly have a few questions for them.
Don't know whether I'm pronouncing it rightly, but Privet or Privetuyana.
Oh, you're learning Russian, are we now? Oh, fucking hell. You're doing better than I am at learning frigging Klingon, that's for sure. But anyway, how's you guys? How did your New Year's Eve go? I know for those of you that are in London, you got ripped off terribly if you went to see what they call the fireworks or the Khan show. Hi, Moo. I'm hi. You on the tramadol, are you, Molly? Ollie? I got a few boxes of them upstairs somewhere. I was in bed at 10. Yeah, funny enough, Rippy, so were we, mate. It's a bit of a tradition because we don't go out celebrating. There's just too many idiots out there, basically. The family do their own thing, which was really nice, actually, because Heather's daughter and her son actually spent New Year's Eve celebrating together, and I think it's the first time in 20 years they've actually done it. Paul, good afternoon. Simon. But yeah, we just have a quiet one. We just lay in bed. If we're awake, we watch the fireworks out the window or on telly. And other than that, that's it. If we are asleep, we do get woken up by the cat because as soon as the fireworks going off, she's creating merry fucking hell.
We did get some big ones going off round by us this year, which we don't normally have. But I had to get out of bed to go and have a look.
Yeah, go on, people, hit the likes just for the hell of it. I don't often ask. But it's nice to see my little channel there. We're getting a few more subscribers in. The viewings on the video, yeah, I'm quite amazed now. That's 4 on the trot with over 100 views. And that's like going viral to me. Hunter, good afternoon. Oh, yeah, for those that are inquiring through the week after police abusing powers, Dan, he's absolutely fine. He's spending time with the family over Christmas and New Year. I'm meeting up with him next Friday. By the way, there won't be a live stream next Friday because me and Dan are travelling down to Reverend Simon Sideways for the live there on Saturday. Yeah, your chat. See, Holly, yours is a niche subject, and there's people that will come and watch that subject. The trouble with me is I'm putting out a lot of stuff that other people were putting out there as well. I'm just doing it in my way. And YouTube, we know they've shadow banned me. We know they don't always put alerts out. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But as I said the other day, we've got more people in the channel today. Again, there's a few more new ones in the chat there. If there's a lot more people waking up, they're opening their eyes. Now, if I can reach out to one of those people and they pass that on to someone else who's been asleep for the last couple of 3 years, I consider that job done. That was what this channel was about, keeping up with you guys, building a community, but also getting the word out there. If one set of eyes is opened a week because of what I do, then I'm happy with that. That's what I'm about. Thank you, Lee. Yeah, I started off because of what happened to me with the police and that. Nothing real nasty. I did put the video up at the beginning of me YouTube history. My page. Oh, that's a Facebook message come in. I haven't connected to Facebook, so I'll have a look at that later. Where was I? Oh, for fuck's sake, I've lost myself in the conversation again. Yeah, waking people up. But now people have always said, why don't I open a donor box, a drop box, or buy me a coffee? Well, one, I don't, because I'll be honest, as I've said many times before, most of my equipment has been given me. Literally, the only thing this channel costs to run is the electric and the internet, which we have anyway. Oh, thank you, Simon. Yeah, I don't have it open when I'm on live because I get distracted too much and I lose my place like that. But yeah, now I'm glad I didn't as well. And there's a lot of other people out there that are going to suffer now through what they're doing, getting donations for the channel. I know most of them do declare it. I certainly know Dan does. But you're going to be checked on your YouTube earnings, even donations, any other platforms you're on, and also on eBay. If you're buying and selling on eBay, they want to look into that as well, and they're forcing the platforms to give them the information. Personally, I think it's illegal because that is an invasion of privacy. Whether it could come under the rules of GDPR, I don't know. I don't go that deep into it, but I'm convinced they shouldn't be doing it. But this is the government, isn't it? You know. No, I won't, Lee. I said that right from my first video on here. I will never, ever ask for anything on here. And the equipment I've got, literally, that's only because, one, I needed some better equipment and it was offered to me. And I gratefully, very gratefully accepted that offer.
You weren't allowed to say no.
Well, I wasn't, because he said he'd post it anyway, didn't he? So I was getting it no matter what.
I got sick of saying
but
no.
It has made my life easier with what I do on here, because the laptop just used to, well, it used to have a hissy fit. I used to ask too much of it, even though I was told it wouldn't do everything. It had been upgraded, it had added memory, but it was still struggling. But with this one, absolutely great. The only tech problems I have are usually ones that I've created myself.
No comment.
Yeah, you're the one that has to sort my mess out, isn't it?
No comment.
But yeah, this year is going to be very, very interesting. I will open the panel up shortly if anybody wants to jump up. Yeah, that's just wrong, Moo. I've always said that. You know, you got to pay tax on a second-hand car. You got to pay VAT on bloody bits from a scrapyard, for crying out loud. So those bits you're buying have probably had taxes on them 3 or 4 times already. The inheritance tax, I think, is fucking disgusting. If your parents have worked all their life to build a home, buy a home, own their own home, then you should not be taxed on passing that down to your kids.
Why should you be taxed on interest?
Yeah. May 24, bring.
I'm not under arrest.
Well, people are saying it can't get any worse. I'm sorry to have to say, there's every possibility it will. They've lied about the economy. From what I can see, and this is only my opinion, we're not just hovering out of a recession, we're actually in one. The energy cap has just gone up. Fuel prices have just gone up again in a lot of areas. They have come down in one or two. A lot of food prices are still going up, but they're saying they're bringing it down and putting sales on. Well, all they're doing is getting rid of old stock and dropping it down to the original price. They've managed to get the prices up, and believe me, once they're up, they won't like putting them back down. Ofwat are the same. They're forcing all the water companies to spend money that they haven't got. So that means higher bills on the water, unfortunately, because they've squandered everything that they've made in profit off us over the years, which is a huge amount, by the way. It's all gone to their, what do you call them? Not buddy partners. Investors, isn't it? And it ain't going to stop. Sunak saying that he's going to give us some more tax cuts. Well, believe me, that's only for the election. And if they win, or even if Labour wins, you can guarantee they're going to go back up. Shareholders, thank you, Holly. You know what my mind's like. Nobody
Sorry,
near, mate. It's empty.
Sorry, I was typing.
Yes, Moo, they have. And this is what I said. Once they bring the banks into line with them and they get everybody working for them, which is the way they're heading, that's when we're screwed. You reckon you're going to do that, dear?
No. No, but I'm already thinking about this year. The little cottage is going cheap for a weekend, and I'm like, we could.
I am not driving 4 hours there and 4 hours back for a fucking weekend. I'd be knackered by the time I get there, and I'd have probably just woke up by the time it's come home.
Yeah, but because the work that's going on in the barn, the cottages aren't open. But,
Hi, Sean.
So we could say to Vera, we'll put up with a nice and we'll come for a week, and she'd have us. You know that.
No, we'll say that maybe extend the summer one. That would be better. Sean's eating her dinner. It's either early or late then, isn't it, Sean?
Sean usually has a dinner while we're doing it.
Well, a lot of people do. I mean, it's the time of the day that I go live. But as I've always said, there's a lot of people that go live in the evening, and they've been going live regular. And I just don't want to tread on their feet, take people away from. Not that I would take people away from their streams, because the ones that come from them are the ones I don't want in here usually. But
having a drink or something to eat in the background, or driving is absolutely fine.
No, we wouldn't expect that, Lee. We have things in place every year that pays for it. And the lady that owns the cottage, because we're regulars and have been for some time now, she's very, very good. We don't pay full price. If there's a bargain going, she does it for us. And she'll even give us the bigger cottage for the same price if that's the only one available, basically. I mean, she's absolutely lovely. And we get on very well with them, which is just as well when we're in and out at all times of the day and night fishing.
She is the sort of lass that if he was out in the car and I needed to go somewhere, she would lend me her car.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Not a question.
Same as if she needed anywhere, I'd be the first one to
Well, God,
offer to
yes.
do it for her, you know.
Well, you're always pointing out the mistakes a workmen have made.
And she thinks it's amazing that within an hour of us getting there, by the time Heather's unpacked her clothes, I've got a mobile studio set up with a laptop on the dining room table, including cameras, microphones.
And by the end of the holiday, you told Vera what work needs doing on the building.
Yeah, and I inspect her buildings for her and tell her what work needs
The
doing.
flashing's gone there. You're gonna.
Well, it was half the bloody roof come off last time, wasn't it, at the front where they hadn't
well,
finished
that happened
it.
while we were there, didn't it? That still.
Yeah. But no, it's a nice thought, Lee. But as I said, I do this purely for getting a message out and for my own sanity, because I'll be quite honest, if I had to sit here and go through everything that I watch and not be able to get out there and talk about it, it would drive me mental. It really would. You know, a lot of it is just news that I put out, but I look a bit deeper at times, put a twist on it, and I try and find the truth. Yes, their stories are right, what they're putting out, but they're not telling them in the right way. It's the malinformation. Bit like Roland's done with the immigration numbers that he's now been pulled on and he's being investigated on, as I said in the video in the week. It's all about the malinformation. That's how they get the word past people. But, you know, why they've left it to now to start looking into things, because this has been going on, well, right from lockdown. The Office of National Statistics doesn't check anything. All they do is print the numbers that the government send them. Obviously, being a government department, separated as it were. But now they've been caught out. Well, they were caught before, actually. What was it over? There was something they were caught out putting on the ONS site, and it didn't ring true. And that was it. The excess deaths. They actually delete those now. They don't put them up. They don't put that information out. Although there are other ways of finding it. That's a question. Did anybody get any interesting Christmas presents?
We know why Rob W is missing in action. He's playing his new PlayStation.
Yeah, he's gaming. He's got a new game set for Christmas. I had nothing unusual this year.
You had a cushion to sit on and a pillow.
Yeah, cushion, pillow,
Diary.
chocolate, diary, leggings. Basically, stuff I need. I'd rather get stuff I need than stuff I want. I had sweet FA. Oh, didn't Santa come, Sean?
Sean, I have to buy my own chocolate these days. Thorntons have stopped making the one chocolate I love and closed the local shop. So he had to get my daughter to order them online for him when they were still making them. And if he forgot to speak to her, I had to order them online. But now they've stopped making them, so I bought myself something else. So,
well, to be honest, I've been sat on one of my Christmas presents for the last 2 or 3 weeks because she bought me a nice memory foam cushion for my chair, which is now fixed. Look, it doesn't drop back on its own. I fixed that last week.
Looks like Lost Souls has been spoiled rotten.
A Ouija board, chopping board. Oh, that could be fun with the voodoo dolls on it.
Yeah.
Threaten them with a chef's knife instead of a hat pin.
Yeah, Lee, you said you were stocking a freezer. Did she have room for it all?
But no, I've always considered Christmas to be for the kids more than anything. It's yeah. I enjoyed it as a kid, even though we never got a lot. I knew what we did get was hard earned. And quite often, mum and dad went without stuff for themselves to give to us kids. But 60s, early 70s, but that was the norm for a lot of families, unfortunately. Not so much as a struggle as it is today with what's going on. But yes, it was still a struggle. I mean, I can remember my dad winning a Christmas cake on the raffle at work, and he actually swapped it for a turkey that somebody else had won, so we could have a Christmas dinner. Yeah, we'd have had a dinner anyway, but it probably wouldn't have been turkey. And my brother and sister, well, they probably wouldn't remember that, but I can remember it. All right, I'll put. Oh, where's the fucking thing gone? Come on, you arsehole. I don't want to share that one.
What you sharing? You link up?
No, it won't let me click on the dots to
Pin it.
pin the link. It'll only let me go on the one above it. I'll wait till somebody else puts a comment in there, and
There you
go. Right, now can I get on it? No, it's not letting me share the fucking link. What's going on there?
It's giving me the usual options. So.
Well, you're a mod. Can you share it?
No, I can't
Pin it.
share. No, can't pin it. I can go to chat.
Oh, so there is a bit of interference running here, I think.
Try posting it again, see if you can pin it. If it's working.
Copy.
I'm just checking it for you.
Paste.
So don't be surprised if you see me in the back room.
Well, that is very strange. I've never come across that before. Let me try. No. How the fuck? Pin message. No. That's not the one. Well, that is very strange.
Am I in the back room?
Nope. Sorry, Lee. I was just using that, pinning your message up there to
there we go.
see if it was working. I accidentally deleted the message.
There we go. It does work.
Right. So you can get in through the link.
It does work.
Right. Okay. So that doesn't explain why I can't pin it.
No. But at least I'll check that out for you, babe.
Yes, thank you. Having issues? Yes, I am, you fucking thing. Why ask me? Oh,
Just
dear.
being polite.
Now I can't get rid of that one off the top of there. What's going on here? Oh, here we go. There's me saying, no, it's not hackers, Lee. It's more like me, basically. Unpinned message. Right, we can get that one out of the way.
There you go.
Right, let's see where we get to now. No, it's still not letting me fucking... It's not letting me pin the link.
Oh, well.
Why?
What I will do is I will copy it. Save link as, and I will post it every now and again.
Okay. Let me just try it again. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Right, that's the complete link. Copy. Paste. Put it up. Engage with your audience. Fuck off.
Why would you want to talk to your audience?
Why won't it let me pin comments?
Well, I tell you what. Try this. Try this.
That is very strange.
Paste. Can you pin my comment?
That's an idea. Well thought of, darling. Yes, there we go.
Hey!
Fuck you, StreamYard and YouTube. Now you watch that fucking disappear. There's a way and means. But that is very strange. I've never, ever had that before. I told you I might be green through the computers, but Mrs. W come up with that idea. Excellent. That's why you've got that job.
It's because I think I've always had to think outside of the box. You can't do that, but you could pin Lee's message, but yeah, you had to delete it.
Have you tried it? See if it works.
Well, yeah, I copied it from where I was in the back room.
Oh, okay.
And it's exactly the same as the one that you posted.
So there you go, people. If you want to come on the panel, that's not Mrs. W's link. It's mine to the stream. Lodger, good afternoon. Poets Day. Oh, you won't get none of that here. I did used to read a little bit of poetry years ago.
He's leaving us. He's pissing off early.
Who?
Lodger, it's Poets Day. Has he left work or is he going now? Because that's what he's saying. He's pissing off early.
Hello, Sean.
Hello.
Hello, nice to see you. Sorry about the trouble getting the link up there, but that's nothing new for me.
This is weird. I've never used this before. I normally use Google Hangout.
Yep. I use this because it's free.
I've never used this one before. It's weird.
Yeah, if you get yourself an account, you can have 20 hours a month free. It doesn't save that. Sorry about that. It doesn't save any of your videos or anything, but it's a lot easier than just using the YouTube studio because you can share your screen, you can move things around, put things up, and you can't do that with YouTube studio, and you can't have guests. It's you and that's it. It took me a while to get to use it, and that's only because of my ineptness, shall we say. But it's lovely to see you on the camera.
Hello, everyone.
Say hello to Sean. Lee, straight away. Look, she's pretty. Oh, yeah, you're going to get a lot of that from the lads.
I think keeping my identity a secret.
Actually, you saying that, there are one or two in here that I talk to personally through Facebook and that, and they're a different person on here, and they openly say it's because they like to keep their two lives separate, which I totally understand. I mean, I'd have been quite happy for you to come in off camera as long as I could see you in the back room first.
I don't mind.
To verify.
It doesn't bother me being on camera. I'm not bothered.
No, the thing is, you get these idiots that copy people's profiles. They'll take a short clip of you from somewhere. They'll come in the back room, and as soon as you put them up, they're a porn bomber.
Yeah.
And we have to protect ourselves from that. Dr. Kersey, good afternoon.
It's good to see
Oh,
you.
my Lord. Look who's in the back room.
Hello.
How are you kicking there?
How you doing, folks? Everyone all right? Everyone good? Oh, yeah. Sean, you all right?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
Yes. Quite a good sound.
Yeah, okay.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, sweetie. Just, go on.
No, I was going to say you were right to hold off with the travel plans at the moment with the way things are looking.
Yeah, obviously I weren't sure, but it's looking pretty miserable at the moment. So just want to make sure it all gets it dries out a little bit before.
Well, there's one
I make the move.
station, I can't remember which one it is. Enforcer told me yes, it's actually shut for 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, not
Oh,
St.
Christ.
It's one of the other ones. It's not Houston.
Well, to be honest, To be honest, it's Liverpool Street that I go to in order to get the train to Simon's. So
Where
I
do
will.
you,
I'm,
go on.
sorry, go on.
Where
No,
do
go
you
on.
change?
Liverpool Street,
Yeah.
and I can't remember from there onwards. I'd have to have a look on my phone. But I've been,
Bristol.
Bristol
Temple Mead, yeah, I think Temple Mead, yeah.
Because coming from here, we come from a different track into Temple Meads because I've got to change there as well. So that's
Right,
probably
no
where we
worries.
picked up.
All right, no problem, no worries. I'm just come to get some fish and chips for the folks.
Can you see?
So can I see the what?
Can you see the chat?
No, I can't at the moment. No, not unless I change over. Then I can't see you guys.
Everybody's saying hello, and Debbie Back's
Oh.
dropped in as well. She says hello to you.
My apologies, guys. Thank you. Big hello to you all. Hope you've all had a good Christmas and New Year.
We're quiet one here, but at least you got
Oh,
to
what?
see your family. That's something.
Yeah, I wasn't talking to you guys. I was talking to everyone else. I've already asked you. Nice to see you, Sean. Anyway,
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she's an active member of the channel.
yeah. Has it been? Has it been this evening? Have you dickheads in the chat?
No.
Good.
I still run the zero tolerance. I
Good, good.
was around one or two earlier elsewhere, but yeah, I didn't get any homicidal feelings or anything.
As long as you remember to call it homicidal, not homosexual.
Yes.
Oh,
Again,
dear.
I didn't say anything or do anything because I just not bothered in them. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
Tony.
just one,
Good afternoon, mate.
just 1 second.
No worries, bud.
Oh, mate, can you stick it all in there for us, please? That's all right. Nice one. Thanks very much. Take it easy.
Oh God. It's
Yeah, I
fine.
just thought I'd jump in quickly before I get back. I've got nowhere to. I've got nowhere. My mum and dad's. I've got nowhere to sort of sit really and get on alive with you because you know it's all a bit confusing for them and they get a bit worried about their house and them being on camera and stuff when it comes to social media.
No, that's understandable, mate. Totally understandable.
So that's why if I do get a chance, I'll jump and sit up in the bedroom and do it. But I feel a bit rude with my mum and dad.
Yeah, and they can still hear what you're saying anyway, and they can probably still hear us on the phone swearing and.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't do none of that when I'm around them. Believe it or not.
I never used to do
I've got a potty mouth that my mum and dad have never had me use it.
Debbie
So.
can't see the chat, so I'm just relaying messages. She just said, "Hope you had a good Christmas."
Oh, thank you, Debbie. I hope you did too.
Yeah, same with Chris.
Thank you, guys. Sorry I can't see your messages, and so I'm not answering you directly. I'm just literally back at my mum's in about 30 seconds, so I'm going to jump off and go and have something to eat, and I need to take them shopping.
Well, you don't want to get your fish and chips get cold, do you? You know what I mean?
No, that's very true. Very true.
No worries. It's
anyway,
always
guys,
great to drop in.
Yeah, again, sorry it's not for a long time, but I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, folks, and behave yourself. Anybody's sitting in the background watching who's not come onto the comments yet, behave yourself or you'll get booted in the bollocks.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That too. All right, guys, I'll speak to you later.
Buddy. Cheers.
All right, bye.
Mate.
No worries. Bye.
Bye.
You know, I like that. Even though he can't drop in and sit and chat, he always drops in just to say hello if he can. He couldn't last week. It was raining.
I left a message on one of his posts on Twitter earlier on, and I asked him, was he going to come on? And he liked my comment. So yeah, that means thumbs up. He was coming on. Yeah, I knew he'd pop in to say hello for 5 because I've never spoken to him on camera before.
Oh, it's well, you've seen us on his show. It's it just goes crazy when me and him start.
Enough, right? Years ago, when it was with Google Hangouts, I used to run my own streams, and it was mental. We'd have people smoking bongs on there. They'd be
Oh.
me whiskey. It was mental. Yeah, but they didn't mind back then. They didn't care what you did. But then
I think they're going to shut down all smoking on the platforms, even cigarettes and drinking eventually.
that's pathetic. That is. It'll get to the point where you can't even fart in public.
Yep. It'll be like 1984. Anything that you want to do that's deemed immoral, illegal, you won't be allowed to show, and they'll make them immoral and illegal so they don't have to show it, and they'll persecute those that do. I mean,
Well,
I quite often get told, "Oh, yeah, you're smoking." I said, "Well, I've smoked for over 50 years. You know, I'm not going to quit just because I come on here." But when you got people sat there actually getting stoned, shooting up, and stuff like that, I've seen that happen on live streams. It shouldn't be on there.
This was quite a long time ago, mind. I'm going back 15 years. I mean, I ran my own stream up until about 6-7 years ago, and then it was when Hangouts shut down and it moved to StreamYard, and that was when everything disappeared.
Yeah, I never went on any of the others. I did do, I think it was 1 or 2 streams just using YouTube Studio. And that was literally because Dan was showing me how to run StreamYard. Heather downloaded it for me. And I done like a couple of test private streams, so just Heather could see them here. And I still can't use half of it. But no, that's not letting me pin any of my comments. That is very weird.
I studied, done a bit of computing back in the day, believe it or not, because I'm useless now on a computer. Crap. When I was doing it, we had Windows 7 and 8. I remember doing up to about Windows 10, and I've got a laptop, but I'm just useless on it. I prefer Android. It's easier to do it on a tablet.
Down there's a Windows 10 laptop. That was the one I was using originally. That's been upgraded. But upstairs, there's still two Windows 7. And I've got to get into them because they've got hundreds and hundreds of mountain biking videos in there. But there's hours of footage to go through. I might just chuck them on the external hard drive for now and say, well, they're there if I want them, you know. I've got a 12 terabyte and a 5.
Are you completely locked out of that laptop, are you? Or
No. It's usable. It's just very, very slow. Usually, if I'm having issues with this one, I'll have it open by the side of me. So if this one goes down or the stream went down, I can open it on that one. But last few weeks, I haven't bothered. I haven't needed to. It's interference from YouTube and that, I think, more than anything. But that is one I have never, ever come across before, where it won't let me pin the message.
Never mind, your message is up there for the StreamYard.
Yeah. Right, let me just try something else, make sure other stuff's working. Right, that banner's gone. Let me just try and... Yep, that bit works. Private chat's open, but there's nobody in it. I don't bother with branding. No, it's just that. That's very, very strange. You are live, edit, remove, view on YouTube. Yeah, okay. That's nothing to do with it. But this is my issue. I don't know where to look to solve the problem usually.
Yeah, this is confusing for me because for work I either use Zoom or I use Microsoft Teams because we have loads of meetings. But when we were in lockdown, we had loads of meetings via virtual meetings then. But I'm crap at anything else. I've got a StreamYard account. I'm going to be doing just to let everyone know, when I go over to Ireland in March, I'm going to, for St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to be doing a live stream from over there. I'll be meeting up with a lot of patriots from Twitter as well. So that should be good.
Well, if you send me the link when you do, I'll put it out and share it out there for you.
Well, thanks, Rog. I'll put it on because the only social media I really use is Twitter. So I'll put it out
on that.
I'll put it out on there. To be honest with you, you're probably better off staying off there after all the antics last night, all because I was having I was in a group chat, and when you get tagged into a group chat, it comes up on like your Twitter wall. It's very similar to Facebook. It comes up and everybody can see all the comments that are being typed. Well, I was drinking a bottle of mulled wine, and it was 0.5% alcohol. You should have heard some of the men kicking off, writing, putting really snide, what do you call them, tweets out, saying, "Oh, I'm so glad," aimed at me now as a dig. "I'm so glad I gave up drinking 9 years ago. Oh, I feel all the better for it." You know, having a dig at me. So I put a comment. One of my followers private messaged me. So what I did, I thought, I'll have the bastard now. I went on to his tweet. his tweet. I stuck a photograph of myself on there holding the bottle, saying, it's my birthday next week. I'm getting in lots of practice ready. And I said, would you like a big swig on this before I drink it all? So really sarcastic, again, really sarcastic with him. He didn't like that then. So he blocked me after that. So.
Well, you might find your subs going up because Holly's just very kindly posted the link to your YouTube channel in the chat. I've just been over and subbed. Lodger said he's been over and subbed.
Thank you, Holly.
That's all right. We'll get you out there. Don't you worry. Now, actually, hang on. Could I have? Oh, no. Hang on.
Anyway, shut up for a second, please.
So I'm just trying something to try and find out why this bloody thing ain't working.
Yeah, I know, but you won't shut up. You keep muttering. What I was trying to say when Sean came on, and we were rudely interrupted by Dan, but I'll let him. Sean, it's nice to see the face behind the name and hear the accent. It's marvellous.
So Heather's sister-in-law is Welsh.
Originally, I am a Cumbrian girl, so I'm a townie. But where I've lived in the valleys now for 20 years, I've sort of lost my Cumbrian accent. So my accent and picked up a valley one instead. I got a valley twang, so I'm told.
A lot of people don't see the difference. I mean, to be honest, you sound exactly the same accent-wise to Heather's sister-in-law.
I can tell if someone came to me, someone from Cardiff, Newport, Cumbrian, any of those areas, I could pinpoint straight away exactly where they're from, what town and what area.
You try doing that with a Cornish.
I don't know how much of her accent is still home.
Yeah, because they're up here now, aren't they?
Like yourself, she's picked up other things because they've moved up near Newquay. They've got a place up there now. But she's from definitely South Wales somewhere. So I can never remember where because she names the village. I'm no good with villages.
I can't even pronounce them.
I've lived all over. I have. So I've lived in Blackwood, Caerphilly. This is a wealthy one. Cymfelin Bar. Newport. I've lived in Cardiff, Cwmbran. Caerphilly. I think I said that. I've lived all over. So,
Do you know one of my favourite places down there is Port Eynon?
yeah, that's down Swansea way, innit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know?
Right
I
out
go-
on the peninsula, at the estuary of the Taff.
No, yeah, I know. When I went to Llanelli, I only went there 3 times to the protest camp. But when I went to Llanelli, my train had to go through Swansea. So I've never actually been to Swansea. I've never been to Swansea town. I've never travelled down that far. For me,
I
it's
got to
always
say, it's a depressing place, Swansea. When you drive
But
round it,
where I live in the south of Wales, but I live in a tiny village, and there's nothing here. There's no chip shop that closed down about 5-6 years ago. We did have a corner shop that closed down about 3 years ago. So there's nothing here.
welcome back, Stuart. He was in earlier on. For those that don't know, he had to nip off. Sorry about that, Sean.
Yeah, it's like that round where the sister-in-law and brother are. You can't get a takeaway for loving them, innit?
No,
I don't
we
need that.
couldn't even catch a bloody fish down there. I actually went down on Cumtiddy Beach, and it's, as you probably know, it's a little tiny cove, cliffs either side. Heather had gone back up to the cottage because she needed the loo. Obviously, there's no facilities down there. It was a howling bloody gale, and I sat there for 10 minutes looking at the rod, not realizing that I'd cast up into the cliff. My bait and weight wasn't even in the bloody water. And I've gone like that because the rod tip's gone. And I'm like, okay, where's that then? And at that point, we gave up.
I've just gone back to get togged up for the night session. I'd come back in all my waterproofs and jumpers and everything else, as well as going to the loo. And I'm sat there like the Michelin man. He says, right, we're going home now.
How did your Christmas and New Year go after?
Yeah, nice. Christmas Day, obviously, we had the whole family round. We always do. There was 9 of us here. The 2 younger ones disappear in the afternoon to their dads. And then it's the only one that's left here out of the 3 grandkids is the 18-year-old. So it's like an adult's afternoon. Resist. Good afternoon, bud. You managed to drop in. I did apologise for your absence and explain why earlier, mate. Nice to see you, and I hope you're feeling a little bit better.
If he looks back to the beginning of the chat, there's lots of lovely messages.
Yeah, lots of message from you to you at the beginning of the chat, Resist.
Wishing you all the best.
Lovely fellow he is. He's been active in here quite some time now, and other platforms and that I go on. And that's what I like. You know, the decent people follow each other around. And you've always got someone in there to chat to that's not going to cause drama. And, you know, if they want to cause drama, you let them get on with it. But, yeah, he's one of the regulars like yourself. She won't like me showing this. But you're the only subscriber that I've got their name tattooed on my chest. How's that? Yeah, I'm looking at getting it covered up, but because it's an ex-girlfriend.
We'll get it lasered.
But with my blood thinners and that, it's hard to find a tattooist that will do it. I have found one locally that's quite happy to do it. Obviously, you have to sign the usual releases through it, and I have to declare my medications on it. But he is prepared to do it. So at some point, I will be getting that covered. Unfortunately, sorry, Sean. But that one is cover up as well. There's about. Do you want to block your ears? There's about 15 different names under there. I was a player in the day, in my young years.
Wasn't it all?
Permanent marker would have been easier.
Yeah, just let it fade every few months and replace it.
Moral of the story.
God.
I got a tattoo with my daughter's name on my wrist. It's upside down though.
Well, I've got all of mine on there, but I had the ex-wife's name blanked out.
Yeah, I always say have your kids, but any partners, don't put nothing, no names.
Yeah, it was a thing back in the day. It was connected to the bike scene and that, it weren't like it is now, a status symbol of, oh, look, I got a bun and an armful of tattoos, It was, a lot of them had meanings back then. Some people, a mate of mine, you look at, he's covered in tattoos, but every tattoo tells a story throughout his life. And that was the reason he used to have them done. A bit like the Maoris, the Polynesians, their tattoos. Yes, you see a lot of line squiggles and just what look like geometrical shapes. But all the other ones, the scrolls and everything, same as Viking, tend to tell a story. And some of them are quite interesting to go through. I'd love to have one done traditional style with the bone comb and hammer. But it's apparently, I've never had it, and it is so painful. It's about 3 times as much pain as having it done normally with a tattoo gun.
It goes so much deeper.
Yeah, there's no control really over the depth. But yeah, I will get that done eventually. Give it a couple of months. Save some of my sick pay. Well, unless the government withdraw it.
Loads of rugby boys up by me, they've had all the Welsh Celtic markings put on their arms and things like that. There's one that's even had all of the one side of his foot done. Another, well, my uncle, he's had the Welsh dragon put on his arm, and he's had all the can't think of the name of it. The patriotic symbols and stuff like that.
But the thing is now also they're markers for the police. They're identifying marks, Stuart, yes, absolutely, mate. I wouldn't even entertain having one done on my neck or my face. I have known people that have, but yeah, that's not for me.
I'm old-fashioned. I don't even like facial piercings. I won't tell people, but I don't like them.
But I even let my ear piercing close up many years ago. It's just pardon me. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with the chat there a bit, Sean. I've been using my usual standards of chatting away and not looking what people are saying. But that's not 45 people in watching. Hi to those guys in the background, whatever your reason for being here. I do know I have got some friends that sit in the background and just listen and watch, and they are friends. They let me know afterwards that they were there. But with any live stream, there's always those that are there to gain something out of it, I suppose.
That's the same as my Twitter. I've got family members of mine who are actually, I call them my security guards. They're keeping an eye on my Twitter, on what's going on, but they go in under different names. They're keeping an eye on me, so if they get any grief, they'll step in.
Yeah, I mean, I've never hidden who I am, even on Facebook, here, BitChute, Rumble. I always use my real name. I don't hide from anybody, and anybody that is thinking they're hiding from me lets me know I'm still there and alive. But it also makes it easier. Like I've been catching up with a lot of old friends from school days and time like that on Facebook that I didn't even know were still alive. I haven't heard from them for over 40 years. And we probably wouldn't have found each other if none of us had been using our proper names. I got one in particular, he uses his proper name, and I wouldn't have took any notice of it. But he put his nickname in brackets between his Christian and surname. And that's what I noticed. So I straight away, I'm like, are you so-and-so from there? Did you go to this school? He says, yes, I know it's you, mate. Oh, yes, it is me. And I've been chatting with him more or less daily ever since. And it's great. Thank you, Debbie. Yes, and I don't profess to be anything else. If you're going to tell the truth, you can't lie, because you don't have to remember the truth. It's there all the time. You tell a lie, you got to remember it.
Your memory's not good enough.
Yeah, exactly. My memory isn't good enough to lie.
It's another thing I always swear by. The truth comes out in the end anyway. It always does. It always
Yep.
reveals itself.
I said over the last few years that what's gone on since 2020, we ain't never going to know anything near the truth for at least 10 years. There's so many inquiries, investigations, there will be court cases to follow. And it's going to be a long time before we know the real truth. It's starting to come out in bits and pieces, like the COVID inquiry, Partygate, which was an absolute waste of money, that investigation, to find them all £100 or a couple £100.
In my
Waste of money.
opinion, you can tell me to shut up if I say something I'm not supposed to. But if things were that serious, do you think they all would have been partying in Westminster, Downing Street?
Exactly. And you wouldn't have seen the police going round with no masks set next to each other in the car and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And I actually stopped a police car and pointed that out to them. Why are you out here telling us we got to wear one when you bastards ain't? You know, what deems you to be above the law? And they couldn't answer. They just drove off.
It's all power and control. That's all it is. And they're not going to control you.
Yep. And that's what I said in the video. They're bringing in all these different levels very slowly so people get acclimatized to it. And eventually all the thuggery and the corruption they're doing will become the norm and people will accept it. That they'll have to. And it's ridiculous. It really is. I see it's turning into a dictatorship. That's where I see it's heading in my head. You will do what you're told. You will eat what you're told to eat. You will sleep where you're told to sleep. You will do a job if you're capable that we tell you to. And we'll feed you and house you. That's it. End of.
North Korea. Yeah, like North Korea.
Yeah, a full-on dystopian society ruled by fear. And that's where all this digital recognition cameras and facial recognition, that's where that's all heading. It's nothing to do with safety, as they claim, or anything like that. It's, as you say, it's all about the control. And they're bringing in it, as I say, little bits at a time. They've tried to poke with the 15-minute cities, and they've realised now that there's a big kickback if they try to do that. So a lot of places are ditching it. Since it's been proved that the green agenda with the cars and that, look at the fight back that's gone against that now. The evidence has been shown, you know, that they try to play people for fools, but people are waking up and they're seeing it now, especially in London.
20 miles per hour rubbish in Wales, right? I seen a cop car going through my village the other day. He wasn't doing 20. He must have been going at least 50 miles an hour. And that's my village.
We've got
20
mile an hour out here, obviously, because it's schools. Now, in the evening, you got these clowns in their souped-up Mercedes and BMWs terracing down here at 70, 80 miles an hour sometimes, even over the speed humps. It only takes something to break on one of them speed humps. I mean, I went out there. I did a video on it. I went out there one morning. I thought somebody was dumping stuff in a skip. I looked out the window. There was a bloody car on its roof just down the road. So I went out taking pictures and filming. I presume it was the driver's daughter. Oh, you shouldn't film the driver. I said, if you look, I already said, and you heard me say, I am not filming the driver. I'm just filming the car. And then she said, well, we were only doing 15 mile an hour. I said, sweetheart, I said, you rolled a car over completely onto its roof. You've shoved a parked car nearly 100 yards down the road before you fucking did it. Now, believe me, I've raced cars for over 40 years and you were doing more than 15 bloody miles an hour. And that was it. I said, hey, this is the problem. You can't educate people. And I just started walking off laughing.
15 miles.
But I did check with the paramedic as I walked up. First of all, I did ask him, is everybody all right? And he asked what I said. Well, if there's any injuries, I'll turn the camera off now. I'm not interested in filming that, for their sakes and mine. And he said, no, nobody's injured. He said, just the odd bump. That's fair enough then. And that was when I carried on doing what I done. There was nobody hurt. Car was a write-off. So was the other one it hit. They had it replaced within a week.
No end to people's stupidity, and I'm Welsh myself, right? But I've never met, when I moved out of a town, quite a big town, into the valleys, I've never met or seen so many nutters in my life. They're crazy, yeah. They're absolutely. Now I'm bonkers when I get going.
Where did that from?
I've had one accident in the last 46 years on the road, and that one, hands up, I did it. I put the video out of it actually because it was coming back from holiday last year. I was rubbernecking to a car fire or whatever, and the traffic speeded up after they'd gone through the smoke. I speeded up, looked around, and before I knew it, the 4x4 had stopped in front of me. And I just clattered his tow bar. Kept the camera running because we pulled over. I got out. We had 30 seconds of chat, making sure each other was all right. There was no damage to his vehicle. And we shook hands and went on our way. There was no road rage. Oh, why the fuck didn't you see what you were doing and shit like that?
He was more concerned about us.
Yeah, he was more concerned about our safety, to be honest.
Because he knew we didn't only hit his toe ball.
I can drive fast, believe me. And I've driven some very fast cars, especially on the drag strip. But I used to keep most of my racing to the tracks. If I felt I had really loads of pent-up aggression, I'd go banger racing for a weekend. Take a couple of cars, go to a banger track and race for the weekend. And I used to get my aggression out on the track with that. But yeah, I'd done a bit of street racing in the past, but it was nothing like as dangerous as it is now. In and out of traffic,
they're lunatics where I live, Rog. I saw this fella in town the other day, right? He had only a small car. I can't remember the make or model, but it was a tiny little car full of boys, right? And they were hanging a blow-up doll out the sunroof.
Yeah, you get lots of that.
Yeah, waving a blow-up doll out the sunroof. I'm not joking, right? That is the mentality in the valleys. Now, I'm nuts when I get going, but honest to God, I've never met so many stupid, crazy people as what I have when I moved up this neck.
I drove down to Newquay from Oxford on the original Run to the Sun custom cruise that it was back then. And I drove all the way down the motorway with a 10-foot inflatable killer whale strapped to the roof of a Cortina. Why, I don't know, but...
Seemed like a good idea.
Yeah, it was a good idea at the time, but... Chris, good afternoon, mate.
Yeah, it's like that fella with that blow-up doll out of his sunroof. He probably thought it was a good idea at the time. It was funny, mind. I mean, I had to stop onto the railings because I was laughing so much. I thought I was going to wet myself. Gone out the
We
window.
used to see there was a couple of limos used to drive around Bristol with the groups of kids in, and you'd quite often see all sorts of things hanging out the sunroof of them bloody things. Usually humans, but Free Willy, yes, Chris.
Well, if the boys did it to make people laugh, Sean, they at least got to you.
I gave him the good laugh. I was, because of the state of the car. I'd been actually given it as a banger car, but it still had MOT and tax on it. So fuck it, I'm taking it down to Cornwall. And we painted all sorts of things on it because I was always getting pulled by the local police. I was a known motoring rogue, shall we say. So I put a photocopy of the MOT, the insurance, in the back window with big arrows pointing at it and stuff like that. So we got down there and they said, well, yeah, that's within the spirit of the rally. You can go into the show car park, as it were, on the beach. So my mates that were with me are like, well, come on then, you've got to make a prat of yourself somewhere along the line. What are you going to do? So I got the announcers to put out, has anybody got a bolster and a hammer? And some lad turned up with a bolster and a hammer, a chisel. So I sat there and cut a hole in the roof for a sunroof. It was great all weekend. Beautiful weekend in Newquay. Driving home, pissing rain with cling film, trying to tape it over this frigging hole. Jenny, good afternoon, sweetheart. It was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, I've seen people put down this way. I've seen people like putting wigs in people's exhaust pipes.
I used to wear one over my helmet on the motorbikes.
Speaking of the Rev, right? There's a fella down my way, down where I live. He apparently he just so happens his nickname is the Rev as well. Well, they wrote all over his VW van thing, whatever you want to call it, right? All over his van now in shaving foam, the Rev's a fucking wanker. And he was driving through the village like that, all through town, with the Rev's a fucking wanker on the side of his VW van. And he didn't even realise, he said to me, he was laughing his head off, he said, Sean, I didn't even realise it was there until I got to work and all my workmates were saying, well, what the hell is that on the side of your van? The Rev's a fucking wanker.
Michael, good evening, mate. Gosh, we've got a few in here today. 46. Bloody hell. Must be getting popular. Altogether, yeah. No, it's amazing. The last probably just from back before Christmas, the channel's been picking up a bit. You know, whether it's because people are sharing it out there or I'm going and talking to more people, you know, I don't know. Because I don't really advertise. I only share my video on Facebook and Dan's Discord server. So obviously the alerts are getting out there. Who else is in there?
Let me turn the heating off. It's boiling.
I got to go and get a drink.
Your subs are up to 525 as well.
Yeah, they were at 525 earlier.
Ah.
They were up to that yesterday.
Sorry, last time you updated me, it was 520 or 523. I get regular updates from Roger on how many subs he's got and how many people watch the video and how many people watched it the day after. And yeah, it's all we talk about is the channel.
And for those that are in the chat at the moment, if you weren't there at the beginning, there won't be a live stream next Friday. It's because I'm travelling. Going down Somerset. Oh, if the trains ain't running, I'll nick your bloody motor. I'll drive down.
I love that neck of the woods. Like Bristol, Bath, love all that area.
Well, I lived at Shirehampton for a few years. I bought a house there by the side of the motorway. I was in Totterdown, actually in the town, in the city, and I overlooked Temple Meads from the top of the hill.
Yeah.
But it was just a flat, and I didn't like it. And the house come up at the right price. I mean, I used to be a builder and what have you, and it just hadn't been decorated or done anything with since the 50s, so it just needed bringing up to spec. And I bought it for an absolute song. Unfortunately, when the relationship went bad, my ex-partner ended up with it. But in a way, I'm glad, because the last 15 years is the happiest I've ever been, in a relationship, and we get on so well here. It took a long time to find it, but hey, it's not surprising the way I led my life.
So you've got to kiss a load of frogs before you find your prince or your princess.
I've kissed just about, I shouldn't say, I was going to say I've kissed about just about every animal going then, but I know people who take that the wrong way. Oh, Jesus. It's getting closer to the watershed every minute, isn't it? That's the problem. So. Yeah, don't forget, Chris, if you're going to use the cloud, you're going to have to pay for it soon.
Your screen watch is a lot quieter than mine used to be. Mine was absolutely mental. I'd be there necking my bottles of whiskey, and one of my other, I'm not going to mention any names. I'll keep their names private out of respect for them. But one of my other subscribers was a prolific bong smoker, and you had him puffing away on his bong. There was me on the whiskey, and then you had people. There was another one then who had like banging trance music. Oh no, sorry. I like trance music. He was playing like bouncy techno on the stream, and he'd be doing steps, and yeah, yours is quite.
If anybody appeared on the screen with a bong nowadays, they'd probably get the stream pulled. To be honest,
it's mild, Roger. Bong, that was mild. That was mild.
Yeah, this one's never been like that. I always said that's why I'm zero tolerance in it. We had a little bit of trouble a while back. I won't mention any names. And there was a lot of shit flying around, and I just said, right, I don't want it in my channel. I disassociated myself from all of them. And I said, you go off and do your thing. I'll do mine. Leave me alone. I'll leave you alone.
Yeah, but don't forget, Rog, I am Welsh, so is the nutty Welsh coming out to me. I am a bit bonkers when you get to know me, really.
But that's the thing with me, see, a lot of people see a little old man, but most of those that know me, I'm an old ex-hairy ass biker. And I've learned to look after myself over the years.
I used to bother with the bikers years ago. Yeah, I got chucked out of the bikers club because I had a fight with someone down the bike club. But, yeah, I got banned from there for 18 months. Yeah, they let me back in when they've forgiven me. She started it though. It's what can I say? It's bike clubs fear though, and the ones down in my neck of the woods are mad.
Chris, I've kissed the Blarney Stone. Do you know what, mate? I actually tried to do that and I couldn't get my neck far enough out that bloody hole to do it.
I kissed the Blarney Stone on more than one occasions.
Because my mother's Irish, so, we used to spend a lot of holidays as kids when we were over there. And all the family got down and stuck their head underneath, and I couldn't get in there. They said, well, what are you going to do? I'll just kiss the nearest stone and say I've done it. Yeah, some real good memories of holidays in Ireland. Yeah. See, my long-term memory is perfect. It's only my short-term that lets me down. Like today, I've been suffering because the last few nights, as you can hear, my breathing's not right. And I've been getting a lot of sleepless nights. And I was sat here this afternoon thinking, and I was almost falling asleep. But since I've fired the stream up, I've got like wide awake again. How long it will last, I don't know. But long time now, 35 years. Okay. But no, it's nice to, when I look at other people's streams and what goes on them. Yeah, all channel creators do them different ways. They got their own ideas of what they want. And this is the sort of stream that I wanted. We can talk about relevant topics without losing respect in the chat and stuff like that, because I will not tolerate anybody disrespecting anybody in the channel, no matter what they've done, or, you know, if they're respectful in the chat, I leave them in there.
I'm the same as you. I wouldn't tolerate any of that in my stream. But what I meant, we were just mad, bonkers,
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, I had two fellas from Manchester, and we all know what Monkey boys are like. They're mad, and they're like the Welsh. So you can imagine how bonkers it was. But I wouldn't put up with any bullying, disrespect, or anything like that.
No.
It was just like a fun stream, but it was a bit crazy.
Somebody asked me the other day, I can't remember who it was now, it was one of the subs, what would your streams have been like if you'd have done them back in the day when you were a young man? I said, with rules on YouTube now, I said I probably wouldn't have got past my first video before I lost a lot. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't have got past the first 5 minutes, Rog, before they pulled you down.
I mean, someone joined the other day, and they've been going back through some of my past videos. There's quite a few that have done it, actually, and some of them get in touch and say, Jesus, your style's changed. You used to rip holes back then. I'm like, yeah, but we could do it back then. We can't now. You know, I could come on and start swearing and cursing at one of the politicians. But yeah, you can do things like that against them now, but not continuously. I mean, I remember walking down the brook. I used to do filming on my phone and then put it on my computer. And when I was able...
Sorry, what?
He said, pardon my swearing earlier on.
She swears like the best of them when she needs to, believe me. And she's done it online before.
Fucking swore at fucking Benson, didn't I?
No mentioning names.
I got a phone call. I'm going to just leave you to it for 5.
Okay. But yeah, I've done a video down the brook one day, and I called out just about every single one of the front bench in one way or the other in 10 minutes. And I got banned from sending emails to the Home Office. I got banned from sending emails to the local councillors.
I've had a bollocking recently, right? Because I posted, I was making on New Year's Day, right? I was doing a cook dinner for some of the neighbours, and I was cooking faggots. You know what faggots are, right? Faggots in gravy with like potatoes, roast potatoes and stuff like that. I posted it on Twitter saying, oh, I'm going to do a lovely dinner tomorrow, nice faggots and that. They pulled me down, right? They gave me a warning and said that I was being homophobic. I had my ear off. I was like, they're faggots. It's food, not being homophobic.
Well, literally, we had that much meat left over from Christmas Day. I only threw the last box of it out today. And I've only been hanging on to it to give the cat a bit of a treat now and again. Which I don't know where she's gone. I hope I haven't shut her out. She's not very well. She's on her last legs now, lover. I'm prepared for the fact that we're going to lose her sooner than later. But
yeah, you got a couple?
Hey, what? Sorry?
You got a couple of...
I couldn't hear the last bit of that.
Hang on. Sort them out.
She'll say she's normally sat behind me, but no, I'm not allowed another one, Holly.
How
Oh,
many
Rev.
cats have you got?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Rod, how many cats have you got? Is it just the one, or have you got a couple of you?
No, just the
Oh.
one.
I'm thinking of another streamer then.
Yeah, I've only got the one. I inherited her from Heather's daughter when she stayed with us between moves. We had the cat, the Staffy, and it ended up with a whole litter of kittens and a whole litter of bloody Staffies here as well at one point. But when they left, the cat had really, really took to me and just used to follow me around everywhere. So she said, well, if you want her, then yeah, if you want to keep her, keep her. She loves you. And she's always by my side. And this is what worries me now, because she does that bit of creeping off on their own, which shows me that they're getting towards the end. But I'm prepared for it. But I'd like to welcome the Reverend Simon Sideways into the chat there. I presume you're using that profile to keep your other one out of the thing, Simon. 4 years today, you lost yours, Chris. Yeah, I've lost a few before. I had one got run over. One just went missing. I don't know why. After 4 or 5 years, he just wandered off and disappeared. And I had to give one away, which was a beautiful one. He was a big, big cat, all black. But I was moving into a flat in the town. One of the customers I had on the building and the roofing had a converted farmhouse. And I was chatting to them about it, and they already had one, and they said that they'd love to have him. I don't think they were quite prepared for him dragging big rabbits in hole and stuff like that. But he was always happy there. So just seeing what else is going on in the chat here. That is weird. That Rev, you might be able to help with this. All right, Steve.
Hello, Roger. How are you?
Oh, God, his mic's loud. I don't know whether you've ever come across it, Rev. I tried to pin the link at the top, and under my name, I can't actually pin anything now. It won't let me access it with the dots. It's something I've never come across before.
I haven't been keeping up. I've only just tuned into the stream, Roger. It's great to see you.
Yeah,
great to see you, Sean, as well. I've chatted to you on the old chat.
It's nice to see Sean up here, I tell you.
Yeah, glad that he survived. I think it was at Coventry that you.
Did you and Stitch have a good one?
Oh, we really did. Yeah,
good.
We had the usual thing: turkey, Dill's in top form as per usual, saving the day. Presents. Oh, the Christmas tree was just out of this world. We didn't really make that much of a fuss when I was growing up, but round here they really have a Christmas tree. It's pretty cool.
I'm working the system. The boxes go up one at a time when I go to the toilet. That way I don't wear myself out going up and down the stairs unnecessarily. When I get them all to the top, then they'll go up in the loft.
Yeah, mine's still up. I haven't put mine down yet. Everything is still up. Tree a lot.
I only took ours down the other day. Heather likes them up for the New Year's Eve. You know, it's yeah. You went out and cut one down, didn't you, Holly? You and Danny went out and picked one. I give up on real ones. It's just too much bloody mess nowadays. I used to have one in a bucket that we used to replant in the garden years ago back home, but the artificial one we got now, it looks realistic enough. It's not one of the straggly things like you get nowadays. Get the hatchet up, Danny always sharp things.
Maybe they have different levels of pine needle droppage these days.
Yeah, they're different species now as well. Some of them are bred to retain the needles longer. But it's still an upheaval. You know, you got to go out and get one. I mean, that one the daughter gave us because she wanted a smaller one, so we gave her ours. And that one, you have to slot all the branches in so you can move them around where you want. They're not just fold out. Like we have it in a corner. So I leave some of the branches out at the back, add them to the front, which makes it look like a fuller tree.
Right.
It's quite
Yeah.
a good shape. So Jenny took hers down Boxing Day. You'll be surprised how many people do.
Sean, were you staying in a hotel recently? Am I going mad?
Yeah, I
change.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you on the chat talking about the ups and downs, let's say, the vicissitudes of staying in the hotel. But and I'm think I'm right in saying as well, didn't you say not like a policeman
Yeah.
now? I think I'm right in saying you were about to go out the next day into town because you had to get stuff and you were like dreading it.
No, I don't think that was me. No.
No, I remember it. It was. It might have been Jenny Wynn, actually.
Sorry, Sean.
I know it was one of them.
Yeah.
Oh well, then I can't ask you about something that didn't happen.
I was in a hotel though. Yeah, I was staying in a hotel. The reason why I was staying in that particular hotel is because the company I work for, we've actually got a contract with them. And I get rooms there for next to nothing. So that's why I go to that particular hotel.
Yeah, it was like you sounded like you're a lady of leisure. You're like I just spending. I think I'll spend Christmas in a hotel.
Some people do. Some people go on cruises.
I suppose, yeah. If you got it, flaunt it.
I mean,
I know
you
what-
look in America, there's a lot of couples now who are actually living on cruise ships permanently, going from cruise to cruise, because it's cheaper than paying to rent somewhere.
Yeah.
Bloody hell!
They're paying $500 a week or whatever to stay in on these cruises.
Yeah.
And if they want to rent a flat or a house or an apartment, it's going to cost them about $2,000 a month. You know,
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer if you're retired. And
I never knew you could get a cruise like that cheap. Well, cheap, you like, but £500 a week, like. Then it's like, if you got the dough.
I mean, you got the added danger of botulism and food poisoning and stuff like that.
I have to bring it down and just get in.
I can see the upside of it. You know, you can travel all around the world cheaper than living at home.
I think the whole point is that it's only upsides.
Yeah, and you get all your food prepared for you.
Yeah.
You even get your laundry and bloody cleaning done. You know,
They've eliminated the downsides of almost everything.
Yeah.
Even land. Don't have to worry about land anymore.
no, because you won't be allowed to own any eventually.
Do they sway? Like, do they reel? Or are they quite, because they're so
They
big?
can do in rough weather. In reasonably calm weather, they are quite stable. They have got stabilizers on them.
Oh, yeah. Like
Yeah,
outliers or something.
No, the new ones are quite technical in the way the hulls and that are built. They got like computer controlled jets, as it were. They'll automatically adjust for the pitch as well on some of them. So
Well, it's
they
not to
are
blow
quite stable.
not to blow smoke up your ass too much, but is there a mechanical instrument you don't have thorough knowledge of?
A mechanical
Knowledge, I mean. Jesus, talk the aerofoils. I bet you know stuff about aerofoils and
yeah, it's an underwater wing. You can give you a lift, it can lower you down. And it's less resistance going through the water.
what about those planes that can land on the water?
Yes, if you look at the shape, they're exactly the same shape as a hull. And the original ones were built to look and function as a boat with wings.
You remember the 1980s TV series, and it had one of those landing boats.
Not Barrier Reef.
The name of the plane in question was Cutter's Goose. I bet the chap will know.
That's Cutter's Island.
I don't know. I think it was whoever played the pilot. I think he either was or looked exactly like the guy who played Captain Decker in Star Trek, the movie when he was, third movie or something.
Fantasy Islands shit. Yes, boss, the plane. I used to love watching Tattoo.
I haven't seen the chat all night or even seen the stream all night. How is everyone? I'm miserable and depressed, no doubt.
Oh, they all seem quite upbeat.
Yeah, I'm just mucking around.
BOAC. Well, the biggest one was what's his name's the Howard Hughes, wasn't it? The Spruce Goose, and he flew the once.
Oh, it wasn't Cutter's Goose. It was Spruce. Oh, right, no, Cutter's.
Yeah,
Spruce
it was the biggest one ever built, and it was supposed to have been just doing a test run, and it actually lifted off, and that was the only time it flew.
Why didn't they remake it then? Was the design too sort of like inefficient?
No,
or something?
it was Howard Hughes, the millionaire as it was back then.
Oh yeah.
He just wanted to spend some money and do it.
I was trying to figure out Howard Hughes. He's like a philanthropist, sort of a tycoon or something. Mega.
Yeah, Ginny Wynn just put in there, possibly flying doctors. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to the very early 70s. There was Barrier Reef, obviously Skippy, Daktari with Clarence the Cross-Eyed Lion.
What was the one with the dolphin?
Flipper.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there were
Skippy,
twits of those.
Yeah. What do you
There were
mean, Skippy? He's fallen down the shaft. Okay.
I think he's trying to tell us something.
Yeah. And then when the dolphin started talking and clicking, I'm like, oh, what?
It's like, got me out.
All that was an aquatic version of Skippy.
I was just going to say, it's a format, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't forget Lassie.
Oh, yeah, and they all come from Lassie.
Lassie, yeah. Littlest Tobo.
Yeah.
There's a voice keeps on calling me down the road.
What's the other one? Oh, BJ and the Bear, the trucker with the monkey.
I should have called it the trucker with the monkey.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the one with the bear?
That was Den Haggerty, and that was Gentle Ben.
Gentle Ben.
Gentle Ben.
Yeah.
Grizzly
See, I
Adams.
told you, my long-term memory is absolutely amazing. Black Beauty, yep, and the original star in that was Stacey Dornan. There you go.
Yes.
Jesus. Mine of information. When you're saying that, Roger, from time to time you bring up the fact that your long-term memory is great, but from day to day you're it's not so good.
No, it's the very short term is the worst bit. You know how I lose myself. I'll stop a conversation. I'll forget what I was even talking. Dan gets the same. That's why we think that damage has been done to both of us through the strokes.
With the strokes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I unless I've had several unacknowledged strokes myself, I kind of always have been like that. And as well as that, when you talk, you don't seem discombobulated or disjointed.
I do get confused sometimes.
Is it not?
Believe it or not, now Heather brought up something when we were talking about this memory issue of mine. Now, back in 2014, I had a blood clot on the brain.
Blood clot.
And Heather says she noticed a change in me and the way my memory worked from then on. I didn't notice it. It's only since I've had the stroke that I've really noticed it getting bad. But I can believe with what she's saying, because at one point even my attitude and my outlook changed. I am still snappy at times, but I was a lot more snappy after that.
But that was also when you were going through the problems with your shoulder. And,
Yeah, I'd busted
So
my
you-
shoulder up at the same time.
so you weren't.
Oh,
working.
pain will make you snappy.
And I wasn't working. And yeah, I was working before the blood clot, but because I ended up in hospital for so long, and after the bypass, then I just couldn't work anymore.
Oh, I didn't realise you had a bypass as well.
Stem from back then.
Oh yeah, he turned himself into a cripple for me. And then
That's
topped it
love.
off-
That's love, though, isn't it, Mrs. W?
Oh,
No, it just went through my mind. If I bust myself up a lot, she'll feel sorry for me and look after me.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I think we lost a few viewers then, didn't we?
you've always been accident prone. You just never broke yourself.
No, not that badly, anyway.
Steve,
Yes.
my memory is nowhere near what his is like. Mine's always been bad. You saying about you can't remember this, that, and the other. I posted something on Facebook during lockdown that I got it, and people said I got ADHD because I went to get a drink, did half a dozen other things, and came back in with an empty glass. Eventually.
Well, I'd like not that I'm being contrarian about it, but I did hear once a long time ago that it's ever after the age of 30, you start doing things like walking into a room and wondering why you had walked into that room.
Yeah,
It's
but
like it's pretty natural, and I think that I know it's boring, but here comes oh shit
now
almighty!
we're gonna have trouble.
Oh, Simon, how are you, sir?
All right. Been doing some technical stuff. And it's funny because I was watching your stream. You started talking about Star
Anything
Trek.
on your mind?
Anything on my mind? Computer problems. They were trying to fix. But yeah, and I was watching the young lady here, and she was seriously looking at her computer. And I looked at the screen and I thought, fuck me, I feel like I'm in trouble. Like I've done something. She was very serious there for a second. I was like, lad's got to go to tell her. So anyway, yeah, it's nice to see a smile.
Your mic sounds very hollow, mate.
Yeah.
You sound low. I'm struggling to hear you, dude.
Hang on a minute. Is that any better?
No.
Not really.
Excellent. Right, I'll come out and come back in. Give us a sec.
Just shout. All right. He's rage quitted.
I love this. It's always the ones with the more gear and more tech in front of them that have the problems.
More things to go wrong, isn't it?
the mic.
Sorry, Sean.
Steve, when he's saying my he's in messages, so I'm scrolling on my screen and I was reading messages. And I haven't got my glasses on, so I had to get up really close.
How many do you want to borrow? I got about 4 or 5 pairs under here of different focus lengths.
They are. On my
My point, Steve, was I can't remember things in my past. I can only remember odd occasions where people will tell tales of what they did, and I went out, I got drunk, I came back, I don't remember any tales. I had they brought mates round. I don't remember them from Adam. I remember Adam.
But the whole point of drinking is that you don't remember. You let yourself go. You talk in ways you'd never talk about normally. You talk to people who are complete strangers. You make great conversations.
Is that
And then
Mad Brody?
Next morning,
from-
it's okay
from-
because no one can
hang on,
remember.
Steve, hang on a minute. Is that Mad Brody from over on your side there?
Yeah, Brody from the
Okay.
one who's helped me.
All right,
I said,
bro.
Come over, bro. And he went, oh, okay then. Does that sound any better for you too?
I'll get to the end of this eventually. My grandson has said he doesn't remember things like that. It's like his brain dismisses it as unimportant.
Well, like you do when I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Welcome, Brody. Anyway, Revs usually drops in somewhere, so but welcome. to
Yo,
you, mate.
Brody.
Cheers. Hello. Hello, Steve. Hello. Is it Sian?
Sean.
Sean.
Right.
Well,
You have a good evening, Roger.
Yeah, we're not too bad. I'll be honest, I've had more viewings in today than I've had on a stream up until now. So yeah, all on the up. As Rev says, living the dream.
Living a dream.
There was a guy in London when I used to live in Acton. Every time I was asked him, how's it going? He'd go, close to euphoric.
Yeah.
Uh,
Biblical.
Well, nowadays it'd be go into metaverse, wouldn't it? But you don't want to go in there. You're like you can get well and truly shafted, apparently.
yeah,
Fuck, it's a step up, really, isn't it?
just about.
Just to buck the trend again, I fear for the future.
As soon as that Rev turns in, I change.
You have to, don't you? Because the guy's capable of anything in the very best way of speaking.
Go in that metaverse, you'll get a good Roger.
Oh, yeah, right, you're Roger in there.
Right?
You never know, it might be your sister.
All that metaverse you are.
How the fuck did this end up happening?
That's all right, I'll be so.
Put a one in the chat.
Well, this is how we discuss relevant stories of the week.
Yeah, sorry, let's be right.
I didn't see that in the Guardian. Not that I read the Guardian, of course.
The best bit is Zuckerberg expects you to pay for the pleasure.
See, the thing is,
Jesus
you
Christ.
get facts or opinions.
Yeah. Do you know that sounds like you're actually speaking through the mic that's next to you, not the one.
Yeah, it sounds like coming through webcam.
Hang on a second. Let's check.
I thought Brody's mic was coming on like a mic should come on. I can hear you properly, Rog. Rev was quiet. Are you still?
That will
There he
explain
is.
it.
He's
Still a
playing
bit quiet.
buttons. What could
I wonder
go
if you
wrong?
could just move your mouth closer to the microphone, not patronising in any way.
Does that sound any better now?
It actually does, yeah.
I think I was coming from a microphone over there.
Yeah,
I don't know what microphone 6 is, but I was coming from microphone 6.
VR set.
It's fucking miles away. It's over there, man. It's like,
That's what it sounded like.
good microphone.
Oh, lordy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Holly. You give him one bloody job to do. Oh, pardon me.
I try.
Oh, it's nice when you're just in the chat, Holly Molly, whatever your name is these days.
See, this is the
ASMR.
thing.
Angry murder midget.
I wondered though, Holly, in all honesty, how have you been doing on the ASMR front? I used to be into it, but I lost me tingles a long time ago. There's
I'll
on
tell you
the
what, mate,
credibility.
the channel is going well.
I love them
The new one.
because people that
Oh, right.
struggle with mental health and can't get to fucking sleep, they're ideal. I used to watch the Indian head massage out in the street in the middle of wherever it was, right? Or Turkish head massage or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Shoe polishing, spit and sawdust shoe shine or whatever they call it, spit and shine. Just watching them do that, and you'd be like, "That's what you wanted," because just won't get any sleep.
It's an interesting science, Rev. If you come to think about it, what is it? What causes it? How does it come about? Who likes it? Who doesn't like it? It turns into a very kind of socio-anthropological science. Sorry about that.
Watching somebody jet wash my car. But you know when you go to those car washes, you watch them start washing away. I find it really therapeutic. I mean, I'm not taking the piss. It's generally, well, apart from the fact I know it's not me doing it, which is 2 hours out of my fucking day.
What can
But
you boil it down to, though? Is it a repetitive actions are frequently occurrent?
Weird.
It's like something repetitive.
Noise as well.
It makes sense what it does. There are no errors in it. And it's
Do you know
also
what I used to find really, really calming. You're going to find this weird.
mountain
frying
cycling down a mountain.
No, frying ants on the lawn with a magnifying glass.
My God, you murderer.
Dude,
At least you didn't eat it.
come on, Rog.
So,
You could be forgiven for doing it as a child because you didn't know, but to still be finding that quite amusing is
can you imagine he's there?
quite
One
amusing.
One of these that pulled the
Thanks,
legs
Dan.
off a spider on one side just to watch it run round in circles.
You had a broken childhood, mate.
I did, I tell you.
What was I? BMXing, jumping, climbing trees, and interested
Yeah.
in girls, though I didn't know what. Just liked girls.
Trying to figure them out, basically.
Yeah.
Through it
Funny
all,
shape.
was you ever worried about hurting yourself or cutting yourself? No.
After I'd hurt myself, should that blood be coming from there? But before that, no. You know,
And cuts and
you
bruises
look down the
happen,
inside
but
of
I
a
didn't go
cut, going,
looking
that
for
should
them
be
like
bleeding
you,
in
Rog.
blood.
You used to come home as the street lights come on, battered black and blue. Blood
Well, you
dripping,
always told that
know.
if Mum had to come out and get you, you're in a lot of trouble because
Oh,
she's had to
God,
come
yeah.
out and get you. So I
Go.
bounced off down the seafront. I was wearing just at the time it was fashionable, so I'm not a freak, by the way. But we were wearing cut off denim shorts, nothing else, because literally I was just out all day in the sun. And I bounced off this stone wall, went across the back of my brother's bike, bounced off the lamppost and back down the stone wall, then slid down the tarmac, and I was just like blood everywhere. And they were like, "Oh, we'll get your mum." No, you fucking won't.
No.
I'll ride home like this. So I'm not having her come out because I'll be in double the trouble.
Yeah.
There was a dude at school when I was about 13, 14 or something. We're in the playground.
I'm just
And
going to
he-
turn the camera off for a sec.
Look at the
Okay,
fish
Rog.
on him.
That's better. Just kidding.
Look at the size
But,
of that thing.
What was that? Cat view?
Oh,
Oh, sorry. The cat's just been sick.
standard. He's
It wasn't
showing off
the most-
again.
Most interesting story, but the dude broke his leg in the school playground, and he was carried off and carried out and the whole time the only words he were heard to be said from him was, "Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry." It was one of the things that stuck with me for years. Sorry, that was my moment of the week.
We rode to a place near us called Cheddar. It's the next village over, right? And there was this curb that was on a bit of an angle, and my mate, he wheel touched it at speed, and he came off the bike and he bounced down the embankment, which we thought was funny, and landed up in a crumpled mess against one of these mesh fences. So we also thought that was funny because we were kids. Anyway, he complained a lot about his ankle. Oh, man up. So we rode into like Cheddar to see a doctor. Couldn't get one, so we had to ride back to Weston. And we just thought he was whinging. Turns out he had a broken ankle, and we've made him ride all the way back, which is about 7 miles. But what did you do, hey?
Oh,
Well, he grew up all right.
You can't turn the clock back, Si.
No.
I fell off one of my mountain bikes when I was a kid, and I actually had that knuckle on my thumb poking out the palm of my hand where it dislocated.
Whoa.
And
I've never anything that bad.
Put your hand on the bars and grip real hard and squeezed it together, and it popped it back in.
I had a finger that was going out. They should be going like that, but one of them was going like fucking like that. I said, "All right, hospital it is." He said, "You know the only way this is going right, don't you?" And I went, "Okay." Fucking got it between his knees. Funny thing is, though, in all honesty, not being a dickhead about it, there was no pain involved. I was drunk, but I've been drunk and felt pain before as well. But it was like it must have been just disjointed or something. It was literally going that instead of that way.
Massive.
Evening, Gary.
That's what we all tuned in for.
So I was balancing across a fence and slipped, and the fence went straight through my leg. Took a big chunk outside of my leg.
First bloody day of lockdown, I went out in the workshop. I thought, great, it's going to be all nice and quiet. First day, and I put a 1/4-inch chisel straight through the palm of my hand.
Fuck that.
Why should it be funny? It's hilarious.
Right. You're not allowed in the garage. You're not allowed in the kitchen when you come there, right?
Don't put me
Come
near
to think of
anything
it,
sharp.
when I turn the computer on, you're not allowed near the gaming rig for a short while because there's a check, and you'll probably have your fingers in the steering wheel or something. I'm looking at actually all the objects that he could fuck himself up on here. It's an actual bloodbath for Rog.
I'll be honest, I'm that bad I could walk in and cut myself on Rev's whip.
Oh. Oh, well, that's going to be claret then. Fuck it. I'm glad I cleaned the carpets. It didn't actually come out that well at all. Oh, well.
Send him back broken. Just try not to kill him.
Well, yeah. That really depends on himself. It won't be me. As a host, I'm fucking great. I'm not. There's a kitchen. Fucking sort yourself out. You know how to
It's
make a
those
brew.
of us that ain't going to be drinking that have got to look after you lot, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I'm sort of thinking about that.
I can't figure this
Because
thing
they're
out.
actually
Where
You all asleep.
in one sense, if you just slit a little part of your body, like around the wrist area or somewhere at the jugular or something, or some little thing goes wrong, you're kind of fucked. But at the same
Yeah.
time, people spend their lives throwing themselves around places like Roger.
Oh, well, that's why. That's why we're so
They
fucked
can't
in
be.
old age.
It's not. It's not compatible. I can't reconcile the two things. It's like we can't be such delicate objects, and it's like got to be a certain temperature and certain hormones and things like that, and nutrients and calcium and but then people are chucking themselves down mountains, going, "Well, it's all right. You're always okay."
Yeah,
Well, you look how many
pretty much.
billions of fucking cells there are working like with each other. A bloke said, "We're not a thing so much as a process."
Yeah.
And we're a continual process that makes it from point A to point B.
Now you're talking.
Some
Not Ian
people have
McGilchrist,
got a
was it?
better
Sorry.
processor to sort it all out.
I saw it as a thing. Have we said something?
Brody just disappeared.
No, that
She
was
has
me.
gone.
I think
So,
she put something in.
Oh no, it's Brody's. No, it's Sean. Sorry.
Shannon.
Good sleep, lads. I'm going to.
Simon, have you heard of Ian
Have a chat.
McGilchrist? Because he's talking about what you're talking about. That he says it's actually slightly erroneous to talk about things in the matter of things. It's more like we should be thinking about processes.
Yeah, because there's so many different processes running alongside each other to make that mass be what it is. Which is
And
weird
you
because
can't
you think about
isolate
all
a
these.
thing anyway.
But you think about all these like cells that make up, they all talk to each other at the same time, right? And all the technology and all of everything that goes into making that happen, and you end up driving a truck. All of that intelligence, and you end up all of that stuff to make
You
this
end up
thing
saving
move.
the UK.
and you drive a
Rev.
truck.
That's what you end up doing.
We
Moving
talked about
mud.
this
Don't put
the other
yourself down,
day,
man.
didn't
You
we?
don't get
Simon, about
377 followers for nothing.
how some learning processes have got to be ingrained into your DNA and that. You know, we,
Yeah.
we talked about it the other day.
How do
And,
dogs know to cock a leg?
Yeah.
When they have a piss.
you know, it's made me think. But with me, all I've ever had is a little voice
All the
saying,
discussion.
do it.
Here's a thought. I know it's talking about shagging, but it's a dog, right? When a male dog's not actually met a female yet, and he just starts fucking fresh air, he knows that he's got to do that. The fact he hasn't got another specimen with him to help him, but that's obviously built into it.
Could this whole conversational debacle be solved by the word instinct or biological imperative?
But what it programs that into said thing? He's on the Guinness. Well done. He's a very rich man if he's on Guinness.
Programming that you go up and try and shag an inanimate object. you
Guinness.
know?
Well, what I'm saying is, like, you know, for
Oh, you
some of
have
these
known
things,
some women like that.
there are some really colourful and interesting people in my past, but can't talk about that.
But we don't talk about that anymore.
No.
I mean, fucking a fat bird is not against the law, and I enjoyed them.
What?
And I have to say, fat birds are great.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sean.
Rare, mate. You just lost a third of your viewers.
Together.
Laugh out loud. Boys will be boys.
I know a lot of fat bitches like your viewers.
Mate, as I
Like your
said,
channel.
I have enjoyed myself on many a big girl in the past. I consider that you got more. Yeah, it's how do I put this? You just got more woman. I thought that was a good idea. No,
More
that was
to
good.
love. More to love.
Well, I was just like curves and hips and top end.
It's just getting hairy.
Gone on the
What were we
decision
talking about
being
before?
made on
Abortion?
business forum.
Anything?
Yeah, anything more upbeat than that? Yeah, fuck it.
Please.
So is Labour going to get in? That's a question.
I thought aren't they in? Are Labour in?
I think they will. And how will that change us?
Well, Conservatives are the Labour Party. It's the same.
Well, the word
It's the
Conservative,
same-
now Labour are now commie.
They're both working
I
towards
don't think
the
I've been
same goal,
Sorry, Rod.
control. They
I
both
don't think
got
I've been controversial to say that they're both manipulated by the same hand.
Paid. Yeah.
It's like Conservative more Labour than,
manipulated
and
by
Labour aren't
Black
even
Male.
Labour anymore for a long time.
Oh, we've had a spike. Ooh.
Ooh, was it enjoyable?
I didn't even know it happened. I'm looking at my monitor thing here and everything just spiked. And that's not. We're trying to wonder why this thing crashes.
There's been a lot of talk about whether people of influence who are talking the truth tend to get more technical problems than the rest of us, let's say.
It seems that way.
That's all I'm saying.
But
Doesn't it just?
certainly weird that when one goes down and you fire the other one up, then that one will eventually go down and you go back to the original. It's very strange for them to be doing it sort of one after the other like that.
Well, I'm all for believing that you get your shit interfered with. Dave, you've been putting flies around here again? No, it's just this one little fucking fly. I'll have a word with you, Dave.
In here in the summer when I got the bloody window open, I sat here with this.
Oh no, sorry, that's not a fly. That's a nanobot.
Well,
I'm
these,
always ready.
these things are like tiny, like a full stop thing. And
Oh, this gets them all.
It's unusual to get flies at this time of the winter. It's almost the middle of winter.
it's
Just
Dave's fly. They're like,
It depends on how many carcasses you got buried in the garden, doesn't it?
Buzzing. Yeah.
You still get fruit flies and things like that.
Well, we got a lot of plants just outside the window as well. We haven't got domesticated ones like Rev.
He ain't domesticated. I haven't seen that fucker wash up once.
Fucking what's this, class warfare or something?
He's a fucking nightmare. Dave came in, he's thrown some of his bloody leaves on the floor this morning. Well, I don't know when he did it. There's quite a few of them. It's almost as if he'd had a fight with a cactus.
Rev, your name being Rev, is it because your father was like a cleric or something? Or
No, I got
See it
given it
from the
because
rear.
I used to go out in the piss, and before I did, I used to do a psalm on this day, the 5th day of our Lord. Drink amen. Right, so I'd do that, and when I wasn't out drinking, I'd be out in the car going sideways. So they called me Reverend Simon Sideways. That's how the name came about. I got that when I was about 19.
fuck me.
Well,
Magic.
better than the other nickname I had, which was Dr. Death.
Don't explain.
Nearly as bad as mine, Psycho.
It's bad enough having Murph on going. There was a guy giving me problems. He's not giving me problems anymore, if you know what I mean. It's like, oh, easy, Murph. There was a guy on the stream going, all right, Murph, easy now.
Yes.
I've
Matt
gone
Brody,
several
yeah.
names.
I've always been called Broder.
There's people down in Newquay that have known me for 40 years that still don't know my real name.
And that includes some of the women he slept with.
Oh, fucking back. Isn't it? The truth's coming out now. Oh, fucking Dark Hinges it. You know what I mean?
Rog, I fear that you're being framed.
Roger. No, that's not my name. My name's Trevor. Don't worry about it. Anyway, have you got a place? You can imagine.
We were sat outside the pub and these women were coming in. I was introduced to them. They're saying, you know, me and Roger were an item at one point.
No, me and Psycho were an item.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
I just sat there like.
I bet that was a real comfy moment there, Roger, wasn't it? Sorry.
Hey.
sorry.
Oh, he
Yeah,
warned me ahead of time.
Yeah, she was forewarned.
But I was calling him and I was going, Roger, Psycho. At which point he turned around.
It actually included meeting the lesbians as well.
Put an asterisk in the chat if you think Mrs. W should have her own microphone.
Yes. Now, you see, the thing is, right, if hang on a second, I don't know if this will work because that being so close, yeah, I suppose if he had one of these roadcaster things, then he could have an extra long cable which could go to the good lady in the back there.
Feedback like nobody's
Yeah.
business.
Because I use stereo speakers, see, as well.
Ooh, get with the times. Stereo, eh?
I mean, I don't know whether it would work putting a splitter in line.
If
Because I've
you
got a
wore
preamp.
headphones and I wore headphones, it might work.
Yeah, it
Oh,
would.
no,
But
my preamp's only one channel.
in fairness, if you've got directional mics, which you could have, right, then as long as the speakers are in front, coming this way, you won't pick
Yeah.
it up anyway.
Yeah,
These roadcasters, if I've got the stereo coming from that side, no problem. It's when I put the music on over there, it might pick it up because it's within an angle of about that far.
Somebody said one day, why don't we have two chairs in front? You know,
Yeah, Simon.
But
Right,
and I'd like
That's right.
I'd like Mrs. But at the same time, I particularly like Mrs. W's point of view about this. It could be something of natural order,
Fallen
where a
over.
woman's voice should be quieter than a man's.
Oh no, hers is.
Oh,
much
just
louder
gonna go
than
get
mine.
myself a cup of something. Bye. Oh, I like it. Bravery.
What do you think, Mrs. W?
I think
Just know it's going to be.
because you're not.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, it looks like you've fallen over.
I give up trying to have conversations unless he's out of the room because he talks over me anyway. So,
No.
it's his
Wait for him
job.
to-
I'm only here to interrupt.
Well, he's a very brain heavy guy.
You're doing a good job of it.
He's like like Dan. He's like yeah. He couldn't keep up with it. I can't imagine it.
Well, coming up next to me, that moves her up the ladder from tech support.
No, I just think if you both had a microphone, right, so that she would be heard as well as you are now, and she could fire in with any level of abuse, you could set it up like, do you remember Steve Wright and his team, right?
Yes.
He'd be the main piece, right, and you'd have a group behind him which will usually pitch in with some other thoughts and stuff. Yeah, it would work. See, that's what I eventually want to do here. Live stream, have a team, permanent team around the table, right, when you do your live stream. So you talk to the people on the phone, then they butt in and go, well, what about? But because you'd be able to see them, you'd be able to see when they're going to butt in. So
Yeah.
you didn't talk all over each other because it's harder like this.
Yes, it is. We have noticed that. And yeah, I don't use OBS. I mean, there is another mic jack
I don't
on
think
here,
people talk over each other.
and I did try to plug another one in, but I don't think that socket's connected. I've got a separate one for speakers and microphone in the back.
But it might just be as easy to pull up another chair next to you.
Yeah. Well, I was going to do at one point is bring a office chair down from upstairs for an afternoon, move the camera back or come back away from it a bit and put the chairs side by side.
Yeah.
I could go online upstairs. I could have my own slot.
Yeah, you could come on the panel. You've done it before.
Why
Do it.
ever not?
Because we don't smoke upstairs, so that means I'd have to sit up there without a cigarette.
Yeah.
I was
one
looking
lap
at that.
smoke Upstairs.
I was looking at
Well,
that hat.
Things
and the front
can
of it
be
reminds me of
arranged,
Nathan.
Mrs. W. Through your husband, obviously.
Oh, what? I missed that.
You're saying the only reason you can't do the thing is because you can't lay off the fags. So the things can be arranged. You could get some sort of, I don't know if outhouse is the right word, but you could find a way to have a fag and still do the thing. I'm
Well,
talking
that's
very
still-
broadly, of course.
You sit in front of the computer here and you can smoke to death, and Roger could sit upstairs and go without his fags. I'm fucking
We
full
don't
of
have
useful
problems
ideas.
here. We only
honestly.
have solutions.
What about you could
And I'd
both
be the one that gained from it.
you could pay paper, scissors, rock, and whoever fucks up's got to go upstairs without the fags, isn't it?
I was going to say, with Steve's suggestion, if she stepped out the room, she'd have an awful problem because it's about 18-foot drop.
I could
Yeah,
come
don't
up
do
on
that.
the phone in the hall.
Oh yeah. Mind your step, Mrs. W.
No, it's something I've always frowned on is smoking upstairs.
I thought you were going to say falling out of a first floor window.
I've
Frown on
done
that
that
as
quite a
well.
few times.
18 feet.
Usually when I've been having a piss drunk in someone else's house.
No, I've got this dedicated room. I don't smoke anywhere else in the house but this room.
So at the moment he's been locked in there 18 hours solid.
We did message last night. Yeah.
2
He
weeks.
probably doesn't want to catch COVID.
Well, we actually got 2 spare rooms. One I converted into an office for her, and the other one is turned into a dressing room for her. So my only option is the living room.
Yeah. So you got a very civilized set of chat here, haven't you?
Yeah, that I honestly,
Yeah.
mate. the
Not
guys
seen this
in here
before.
are so
Oh, Rev, don't get him on this. I'll do the spiel. It's I'm only being a dickhead about that as well. But Rog does say regularly and for all the right reasons that his chat no longer needs regulating. It's just full of cool people. That's all I wanted to say.
The mods are
Yeah.
there, but they never have to do anything anymore. Very
Was it?
rarely.
That's
Mine's
why I
Wild West.
go back and watch it.
It's
And it's
nothing
nice.
short of a miracle.
It's nice because you don't have to concentrate too much on looking for people, you know. But yeah, it's just the way I like to run it. It's a nice, friendly little stream, and most of the people that come in are regulars. And that's
I,
why
li-
it's
I
nice
like it
to
when
see
war breaks out on mine.
It is. It's quite pleasant. Plus, it's engaging as well. So, I mean, there's some streams I've been on, and it's like, is somebody going to say anything?
Of any
Yeah, I
interest.
know what you mean.
And at the
That
same time,
5-minute silence when all four of them are looking at each other on their innit? Yeah, I know the one.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
and no one talks over anyone.
No one talks.
Because no one talks.
So can we name that hat of yours, Nathan?
All sat there on the stream like,
Because when you see just the front part of that hat and the bits down the side, it's all hairy, isn't it? And it looks a bit like Nathan's haircut. Ah, I see. That'll be why then.
The sad truth.
Yeah, you and me both, bro.
I was just cold, so I'm not trying to.
hey, Steve,
I haven't got a bold shame.
some of that.
I didn't hear it, but I can guess. I've got something
Do
of
you want some
the.
of this? I'm going to shave it off soon.
What is it?
Bloody mess. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
I'm
But
starting
you
to
people with hair are trying to tell me you've got problems.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Oh, dear.
thanks. Do you know what it's like waking up every morning knowing that you're bald?
It was nice when Dan popped on.
Saves a load on the
You
washing up
could
though, doesn't
actually see the new hairline.
Yeah, that hairline used to be down here.
yeah, mine used to be like sort of somewhere. Hang on. What?
You know, Harry Hill, the
Oh, yeah.
comedian, he said this amazing joke. He said, I see a lot of bald people in the audience. He goes, tell me, was it the same for you when you realised you're going bald? The first time you noticed it was just taking longer and longer to wash your face.
I reckon males are like a tree because you get to a certain age where the sap ain't going up, the hair ain't going. But the thing is, it gets as far as the waist because your fucking trouser beard grows 3 times as quick as what was on your head.
And what happens to your chin?
Yeah. It's maybe it's doing it all the time. It's like pulling it back through.
Follicular growth or hairs growing around the body grow at different rates.
Yeah.
And at different types of maturity as well. When you're older, the nasal hairs seem to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Well,
then you
the
start
worst
getting the
when you
ear
come
hairs.
across one of the women that their chest hair matches up with the hairs on her back.
And then you wake up one morning with a really long hair coming out your forehead, and you think, how the hell has that got there? That's actually attached.
Well, you end up with an eyebrow, just one out there, like this. Eye.
Yeah, straight out of there.
Yeah, it's like fucking Dennis Healy on tour, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I have to clip them when I cut it as well. It's like looking through a curtain. Oh, the longest hair on your body are the ones around your asshole. Only if you plait them, loafer.
Yo, loafer, how's it going?
Oh no, you don't want to go pulling hairs out your ass. Mind you, it's nice to have a clean up before you get visitors, isn't it? You know,
For them younger viewers,
Loretta.
do not shave your ass cheeks in between your ass cheeks. That is
Oh, when that stubble
Turns out that I've done that once, never again.
Do we have to get into asses?
Imagine somebody pouring the razor after you, the electric one. Something wrong with this. Have you been using this? No,
It's like when you got visitors, isn't it? Did you use my sponge in the bath? Yeah. Well, remember what's the last thing I washed? The first thing that you just washed.
kiss it. Kiss the hole.
Then channel.
Oh, this is generated badly, didn't it? I like this. Yeah.
Oh, the generators had it, Simon. Well, elevate us, wouldn't you, with some of your loquacious
Unfortunately,
waxisms.
I am not intoxicated with exuberance of my own verbosity in particular. So, yeah.
I understand completely. Sorry, I empathise. Well, not currently, I don't. But yeah, when you're sober, it's hard to be.
Fucking hard to be anything, really.
It's more difficult when you're sober. That's what I found.
What?
Well, the most difficult stream I ever done was either last week or the week before, when nobody came up on the panel and I sat here waffling for 3 hours.
Yeah, that was a bit tedious, Roger. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
That was honestly the hardest one I've ever done.
But that's where it wasn't an issue.
Yeah. You know, the guys in it, and it is the same guys that turn in every week, more or less. You know, and that's why it's nice to see new faces in it, because everybody knows everybody from other streams, so they're not really strangers.
Yeah.
We couldn't see Sean.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen Sean on a stream.
She said she hadn't been live for years.
Yeah, I think you were doing all right, and then we came in and fucked it up.
Yeah, she went quiet when we came on. And then
Sorry, Sean, I really am.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
Now, what happened was, Rev, she couldn't stand the pace. Just couldn't, Sean.
Did you let
She
her
could, two beards were enough when another two turned up. That's getting a bit hairy.
No, it's and the other thing I like in here is the ladies get involved as well. You know, they got Mrs. W here. They're quite often chatting away with her in the chat. And,
We won, Missy Moon.
yeah,
Sean.
Missy. Missy hasn't been in today actually.
Sean, Missy Moon, Holly.
Yeah, so it's kind of clean and respectful, you know. No.
Yeah, that's the way I keep it, mate. It's like I said with the moderating, the Rev lets a little bit more go, Dan a little less, but me, because I've only got a handful of people in here most times, I'm like, well, I want it that way. I want people to respect people in it. You know, debate, if you've got a difference of opinion, absolutely, but do it in a respectful way, you know. Nobody takes offence to anything in here. We've all got pretty good senses of humour. Some of us more than others. Not saying any names there.
Yeah,
I've been working on a theory about
pardon me.
humour itself, and if you could put it into scientific terms, because it literally seems like that humour went out the window, sort of thing, in the mid-90s.
People are frightened of it nowadays.
I don't know. Ricky Gervais is pushing he's pushing the boat. I like some shit he comes out with.
There's a lot more pushing the limits now, but you know, a lot of the comedians, as I used to call them, they ain't that now. Some of them, they were too frightened of being cancelled.
Yeah. This all happened over past what decade?
And intensely so since about 2020-21.
Oh yeah. Well, that's when
And
everybody
that's
started
what
getting
scared them.
censored and that, especially with everything that went on.
Yeah.
You know that guy, Konstantin Kissin. His name is Konstantin Kissin.
No.
Konstantin Kissin. He's I only mention it because I know what a particular crowd you gather, Rog, is that the people here, if they like, obviously, what etc. Konstantin Kissin, probably a lot of people will know about him, was talking about just the same thing.
No, that's the wrong one. Where's the one I was trying to? Oh, fuck's sake! No, that says it all. Political correctness and wokeism.
Wokeism, yeah.
It's an absolute cancer.
PC's been about for a while, though, hasn't it?
It's destructive to yourself and everybody else around you.
Do you think the time has come that we're also used to the idea that it's like that, as in a perverse way of speaking, the novelty has worn off? It's like now we have it quite easily to analyze without so much emotional reactivity. What did happen? Oh, a lot of people were, oh, is that really the way it's? Yes.
But
Oh my God. Now what's going
what
to
it
happen?
absolutely shows is the power of
Suggestion.
how can I put it? Suggestion. Yeah. And not, I won't call it brainwashing, but leading.
Manipulation.
Yep.
There are a million ways to describe it, but it's suggestibility,
Gaslighting.
Yeah.
Yes.
naivety.
And it all started back in the 50s for the public, which in the general public, we know it went on during
Did you
the
say
war.
pub?
No.
Yes.
Wait. But during the 50s, you had the subliminal messaging in cinemas.
Yeah.
Now, people didn't even know that was happening because it didn't register. They didn't see it. And they had to stop that once people cottoned on to it. It's all about manipulation and control.
Well, it's like Revel mentioned in his video earlier about if you stick a frog in boiling hot water, it'll jump straight out, as whereas if you stick it in cold water, normal water, it's comfortable with, and then slowly heat up, it's going to stay there and get used to it and then die.
Unless you're one of them evil Koreans that holds it in the bottom of the pan with the chopsticks.
Right. But that's why acceleration, or being an accelerationist, is probably one of the only things that will save us. If it gets bad really quickly, the shock of it getting bad very quickly, people will notice. If it happens slowly, people. What was it? Somebody, it was in a film, but it did mean sense. It says, "You'll be amazed how quickly a human being can get used to the changes in its life."
Yeah,
and we can
Within its lifetime, yeah.
Yeah, we're very adaptive.
We can put up with stupid amounts of bad things and get used to it and accept that as the norm.
Yeah.
So that's something I've thought about a million times, and thought I can't take this thought further because I'd never be able to explain it to someone. But I suppose I'd like to be a writer, and maybe that's the whole thing. But I think you've hit on a really fundamental thing, and I wish I could remember what it was.
Think of it this way, Steve. How do you train an animal? Little bit by little bit.
Repetition.
You try and teach an animal, a dog or something like that, everything it wants, it won't accept it. But it will if you do it bit by bit. And that's what they're doing with us.
There's two ways to train somebody or train anything. It's basically by incentivizing them, by rewarding them or punishing them. So basically, it's risk. You basically, you feed. You say, "Good boy, tickle tummy," or you give them a kick in the nuts, and that's the way that you train animals.
Carrot and stick, innit?
Carrot and stick, absolutely. I don't think it's very much different with human beings, but I think there's been an awful lot more stick recently than fucking incentives, don't you, folks?
Although just to be that guy, carrot and stick is a much misunderstood term. But like you say, it's it goes back to like people like Edward Bernays when he's like, and these Hegel, where there are people who think that they can sort the world out better than anyone else, and then they look at society and realize that they've got, sorry to be like this but they've got excellent sense of crowd psychology. They're brilliant at it.
Yep.
But
sounds about manipulating groupthink. Try to convince
precisely
people to believe
at the expense of their own selfhood. So they spend their time studying us because we live from the inside out, because it's great to be alive, even though it don't seem like it most of the time, or half of the time. Let's have the glass at least half full.
And the thing is, they've been experimenting with all this shit for a long, long time. There's a lot of conspiracies out there about it, mind control and stuff like that. But the easiest one is just talk to people. You can control people by talking, and that's what they've done.
Well, words have power, don't they?
Yeah, but if you limit the discourse by banning
words.
If you limit the discourse by limiting or changing the meaning of words, or you're not allowed to use certain words anymore, then immediately we're thinking words. I mean, who's that bloody commie? Who's that bloody? He did some really good stuff on language. Oh, great linguist, but his
Ismo.
politics, right? No, what's he called? He's in his 90s now. I can't remember his name. He did some stuff on language, and he says basically we're thinking words.
Dude, could you mention any of his routines? I'd probably get it.
He's not a comedian. He's a linguist. Oh, it's doing me nutty. It's doing me nutty.
Well,
Anyway,
here's a question for you.
I'll have to figure out who it
What
is
was
now.
the point of Stephen Hawkins going to Epstein's Island?
I mentioned that earlier. Behave.
Wasn't he looking for little people? Can you imagine him on the set of
Ancient
Doctor
island
Dolittle
for
with
the
the
little
Oompa Loompas?
Someone more his level.
Well, yeah, Orange Oompa Loompas. He must have really liked them.
Can you imagine something going on and that robotic voice going, "Oh yes, oh yes."
Do it to me sooner, you bitch.
Oh yes, oh yes, give
Oh.
it to me. Oh yes.
Yes, I'm feeling it now. Yeah.
Oh my god, that started me eyes watering.
Yes.
As soon as I heard his name was on the list, I thought, "What the fuck?"
Noam
You
Chomsky
know
is-
you like it
yeah,
like that.
Noam Chomsky is a linguist. He says basically, if you limit discourse, limit the amount of words you can use, essentially you stop people thinking. And if you stop people from thinking, then they don't realise how things have changed. And if they're frightened of speaking up about something, then it's like you develop herd mentality. And
So
like,
You
I always
limit their
said earlier,
lim-
you mentioned political correctness, and there's certain words that you can't say. We all know what they are, but
It
comedians
reminds
can
me of
say
what
them.
they did in China.
Well, I just use code words for them. So I call wood measurements, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Change the language.
Sorry, there's all sorts going through my fucking head.
Yeah,
now.
cyber not all geniuses though. Like you talk off the head of the. I mean,
People
extemporized
say talk out me head.
daily.
But,
Knowing your shit is just fucking amazing what you do.
somebody, hang on a second,
Anyway.
it's not fair. Somebody just said I fucked off for a cider back in a minute. Well, not exactly those words. This is not fair. Oh, I'm not meant
We're
to.
keeping you from the pub.
No, I'm trying not to, so I can go to the gym tomorrow, but I'm going to fail. I feel it now. Maybe if I go to the gym in the afternoon, it'll be all right. Maybe.
You not got a can in the cupboard?
Got a can? I have many cans. This could be a bad road to go.
He's
Can't
well
move
stocked.
for cans.
I'm in the mood for drinking. Yeah, I haven't had tea yet either. So
I do feel I miss out sometimes when people are drinking on and we've had some funny streams. But to be honest, I enjoy it just as much.
yeah, but you can get off your nuts on that fucking Red Bull stuff, can't you? Same thing.
Well, yeah, you sort of floating on that, a couple of coffees and half a bar of chocolate. You'd be peeling off the ceiling.
Pretty
right?
wide, yeah.
Have a coffee.
Oh, bloody hell. I remember one time I was working a 12-hour shift. I drank 6 cans of them energy drinks and went through a full packet of Pro Plus by end of shift. I was like, I'm whiz. I'll fuck everybody up.
Jesus Christ, you're lucky to be alive, dude.
Yeah, innit?
Six cans. I used to do that before bloody breakfast.
You get sick
and
from that caffeine. can't
a
you?
full packet of Pro Plus. Oh, Jesus.
Well,
It's caffeine, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Like I've been taking whizzes, but couldn't shut me up.
I think that seeing as that, especially because the Reverend is here, we should be looking at it more spiritually. It's like, just kidding, but caffeine and stuff. It's like to get the physical thrill, isn't it? Like Rog, I keep going back to it, but you're like riding down mountains on bikes all the time and doing anything like that. It's like,
Stimulation,
Yeah,
exactly.
the endorphins do that and the adrenaline. Quite often before you set out on a run, especially during a race, you'd be shaking like fuck before you pedaled off. But as soon as you started moving, that went away.
Yeah, when the adrenaline kicks in.
Yeah.
When you're just in the moment then, aren't you?
Yep.
Well, I suppose it's moving from one state to another. You're in the relaxed state and the reposed state or something, and then you're in actual fight mode as opposed to relaxed.
Yeah.
They did pull me on one. I had a crash. It was during a race meeting. I could see the finishing line and I just binned it. And the guy on the bottom, when I've walked down eventually, he said, "Do you know what?" He said, "I don't know what you've done." He said, "But you were flying. You were over 15 seconds up on the guy in front of you. And he's an expert." He said, "What the fuck did you do?" I said, "I just forgot to touch the brakes on the way down." I scared myself shitless, but I was determined to win that day.
Back in
And I
the
didn't touch the brakes from top to bottom until I fell off.
The worst thing is, you know, he's not lying.
Yeah. And it is on video somewhere as well, if I can get hold of me mate and his footage.
Oh, mate, yeah,
just went absolutely mental.
we got a downhill bit here. It's got a load of bedrocks coming out. And I had this Scott mountain bike with a hardtail on it. And I've gone down it, and literally I couldn't see through being blurry. And my mate had suspension front and rear, and he was banging on about how great his bike was. It's 1,000 some odd pounds worth back then. And he got down the bottom, all his rims were bent the fuck. Mine was fine.
It's all right having a nice frame, but if you ain't going to fork out for the good wheels to go with it, it's pointless.
Geezer gave me a bike about 4 years ago or something, and there's a dent on the crossbar, and it's like it's a Cannondale bike, bicycle, like what's the word? Yeah, push bike. And there's this dent on the crossbar, a couple of dents actually, but it would puzzle. I wonder what I'll have to put a photo up. If the streams get that fucking desperate, I'll put a photo up of the dents on my bike. Has anybody got any idea why this might have happened? But it's like,
I could show
you couldn't
some
imagine hitting a hammer and getting quite a dent out of it. It's like something must have happened.
You wait till you have the indignity of walking back up the hill with your bike in two fucking halves, mate. That's when you know you broke it.
That's back dart size.
I had that once where I forgot to put the nut back on the rear wheel and cycled off up the road. Thing just fucking came off the bike, and I was like, I was actually hammered at the time. I was like drunk, and it was like I had to walk home with the bike on one arm and the cycle and the wheel on the other. It's like the walk of shame. Sorry,
I
Roger.
trained a mate of mine to ride downhill, and he couldn't understand why the bike I was lending him kept getting buckled wheels when he was going down. And I explained to him, I said, "Well, look," I said, "I'm putting single skinned wheels on it." I said, "When you can get down to the bottom of the hill without buckling one, I'll consider you capable of riding." And every week it'd bend. We used to call him Banana Man. It'd bend at least 3 or 4 wheels in a day. And he learned. And then he went out and bought a £2,000 mountain bike, and he's never looked back. He's faster than I ever was now.
Fuck that. I would spend that on a bike.
So I suppose what he was doing is, like, if you wanted to put a dent in it, you'd dunk on a sharp corner.
No, they were that weak that if he went into a corner at the wrong angle or even too fast, which you can do, the wheel would fold up on him.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying it was his riding technique.
No, it's like putting somebody on.
It's just a-
Rev would understand this. If you want a normal driver to learn how to control a car sideways or a sliding car, you put them on a skid pan. You do the same with mountain bikes or any bikes, you know. And it turned out, I taught him the first day he rode without a chain. He snapped his chain. And he was riding down the hill faster than when he had a chain on the bike. And he couldn't understand why. I said, well, because you're staying off the brakes to keep your speed up. So you're naturally riding faster.
Yeah, so instinctively he's pushing it.
Yeah.
Because he knows he can't speed back up, so he's taking more risk by maintaining a faster
Keeping
speed.
the bike up to a speed,
Yeah.
learning to pump over the humps and stuff to build up speed and accelerate. And that's how he learned that side of it.
I'd love to convince myself that the reason I don't do that stuff is because I'm more interested in the inner life. But I could just be fooling myself, make myself
Hopefully
feel
you're
better.
more interested in living. That's
Well,
what
no, I can make it up an excuse. It's all right.
I'm just trying to look for my bike in the catalog.
Because the doctor told me to take up some safer sports. How wrong was he?
if you want to really scare yourself and feel scared for somebody else, there's something online, and it won a major award for best feature documentary. There's this American rock climber called Alex Honnold, and he soloed. I can't remember the name of the route, but it wasn't an easy one. 3,000-foot granite cliff in Yosemite Valley. He soloed it from the ground up in one go. It took him about 4 hours to do it. That is scary. I mean, that is really scary nipper gland stuff. But they actually did an examination on his brain, you know, one of these scans, CAT scans, what have you. And they found out his brain wasn't wired up like normal people. Even he had to abseil down and pre-rehearse an awful lot of the moves before he
To
was.
be honest, a lot of the research into these people that go looking for the adrenaline rush say the same.
Huh.
It's something they've got wired into them that makes them want to go and find that.
It's called a death wish. I was the same. I skydived, bungee jumped, whitewater rafting. I did that lugeing New Zealand? What that Australia? No, New Zealand. Going down mountain in that little go-kart, and you just pull the fucking thing back to brake. And they call me a speed demon because I was just going off, and I was taking off. I was going through air. At one point, I nearly crashed the bloody thing and missed the road because I went that far through air. They were like, yeah, go again. I said, I've run out of turns. You can have another. Yeah. Just think,
Well, the height of adrenaline is doing a lap of an oval track with your car on fire.
That were it. I were addicted to the rush. Do you know what I mean? Of nearly hitting death, but knowing I were in control.
I would say I've been that close, or I thought I was that close, only once, and I was at peace with it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I knew I was doing dangerous sports. I knew there was a chance, the offside chance of that in most of the sports I'd done. But when I was in that situation, I just thought, well, I knew it had to come at some point. And that was when I was sat in the car fire. I was only in there for 10, 20 seconds once I'd got the thing stopped. But that was what went through my mind, and that's why I didn't panic. It's people feel different things. I've heard different stories from that side of it.
When the car pulled out in front of me and I opened my eyes and I was still in the air, I went, oh, fuck, this is it.
Yeah, you get a large case of that when that happens, don't you?
She hit a Metro on a motorbike, and that's why she's got artificial lip. Tore herself apart.
That'll do it.
Getting pestered by kids.
Here's my little push bike that I loved. Anyway, yeah. It's ancient. I bought it new, and I still got it. My little Scott. I fucking love that bike.
Oh no, Scott! Yeah.
I think the rims might need replacing. They look like you could see where they were welded, but I don't know if that makes a difference.
That looks like a mountain bike, but the height of the seat, it's like you're trying to convert a mountain bike into a drop handle.
Very, very early mountain bike.
That was fast. You could shift on that thing. Well, mind you, I was thinner then as well. Anyway, there you go.
I miss them days.
I've still got it in the garage. I don't do a lot of biking because I'm a tight cunt.
I've got, at the moment, I think there's 12 out there, and I can't ride any of them at the moment.
Are they all in good nick or need repairing?
There's probably about 10 of them that are usable. The others are basket cases. They just need putting together.
So like a little hobby thing, collecting bikes and repairing them, or you just
I used to have a small business on the side out in the workshop out the back, because I worked at the hospital, and a lot of the guys up there and the girls were paying a lot of money, and they weren't getting value for money because they were going to bloody Alfords.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I said, well, look, I've got this little workshop. If you need your bike serviced, repaired, whatever, I said, just give me a shout and bring it round, you know. Oh, why has that come up over there? But this one, where are we? Oh, I keep getting messed up with this.
Fuck me, they look different now, these bikes, don't they? That's 10 grand. Yeah, God.
Try some of them. That
Fucking
was
road
my best collection up until 4 years ago.
I like that one with orange rims.
Yeah, that's me downhill rig. That's the specialised.
That looks like that can rag some like fucking mountain biking downhill. Yeah,
that one
Proper
there.
like woodland shit.
The Kona is an enduro bike. The blue one, white one, that's a British-built doors, believe it or not, built in Birmingham. That was a mountain bike, but I had it set up on the road with road tyres for going backwards and forwards to work. The black one at the back, that was just like a hardtail trail bike. And the little red and white one, that was me jump bike. I used to cover all the sports on them. Oh, yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your number?
Yeah.
Give me your number.
Cover me number.
And
What's left of one of my business cards, I don't know whether you can see the progression.
yeah,
And it was called Psycho's Cycles.
yeah. The funny thing,
With a P.
the funny thing about that business card now, instead of being on the bank, they're all turning back and saying it's fucked.
So, if you look at Scott now, it's got overview, cross country, trail, enduro, downhill, dirt, sports, and women's. So,
Yep.
What sort of one would you use for the road then? Is that like a cross country or a
Drop
No,
on
what
doors,
they
that would
class
usually.
as a road bike is the things like Nathan rides with the drop handlebars and that. But they do make what they call a crossover, which has got the straight bars like a mountain bike, a little bit of front suspension, just to make it a bit more comfortable.
So, what's an enduro bike? What's the difference?
An enduro is full suspension, just not as long a travel.
Right, so that's cross country, and they look.
Evening, Brian.
Oh, we got trail.
Yeah. Usually, enduro bikes and free ride bikes have got about 150 mil of travel back and front. Full on big rig downhill bikes now you can have 250 mil travel back and front and all sorts. There's even a 300 millimeter fork out there.
The fucking state of things.
But bear in mind, for some of them, you're looking at about 15 grand for the top model.
Oh, I've seen that. I was like,
Yeah, my brother will be into his bikes.
Angela, good evening, sweetheart.
He's
Yeah,
paid fortune on them.
You go for the top line carbons and that, you're looking between 12 and 15 grand.
thing is, I've got to get somebody to ride it because I'm not going to.
I'd be too frightened to ride it if I paid that for one.
I'm too fucking lazy to ride it.
Yeah. Well, mine were built off of eBay. I'd find a frame, I'd go out and collect all the parts, buy all the parts, and when I got them all together, I'd build the bike.
So, are Scott expensive then?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
So technically, did you sell any of them, Roger?
I used to, yeah. I mean,
All right. So technically, you managed the local bike.
Steady.
No comment.
no comment. No, but we're getting back to that smut again now, aren't we?
Oh, fuck
You'll
yeah.
see the shape of the patterns I built, yeah.
At the time.
But that's moot. I mean, people used to give me a frame, or somebody would say, "Oh, I'm upgrading this." The parts would be absolutely usable, so I wouldn't throw them. And once I got enough parts to build another bike, I built it. It didn't matter what type, what shape, you know. I done everything from all the grandkids' bikes. Most of those I built. The daughter's bike I put together. I keep all them running. It's it was a hobby. It was a hobby. It's something I've been doing for many years.
What's that, Gary? Gary Hart's asking, Roger. What happens when you cross a hungover New Year cyclist with a 17-stone rider and 100-gram bike downhill?
It breaks.
Well, to be honest, mate, if you buy the best brakes, they're as good as motorcycle brakes now. You can get 4-pot caliber hydraulic ones.
Oh, yeah, I used to have disc brakes.
2.5 mil discs. You can even get a setup for one set of forks where you can run twin discs.
One unhappy commute and the face plant.
Face plant.
I was going to say, not going to end well.
Mate, I used to get hurt and I used to look like a fucking samurai when I stepped on a downhill bike with the shoulder pads and the knees and the arms and the full face helmet. And never stopped me getting hurt, but and it can be expensive as well. You're looking at, if you want a full set of body armor at a race, you're probably looking at the best part of 300 quid for decent ones.
Or if you want to walk into London.
Actually, for that sort of thing, I did keep a set of knee pads and elbow pads and things.
Nice. Right, I'm going to jump off. Leave you to it.
All right, mate. Very good of you to drop in, buddy.
No worries. You take it steady. I'll see you in a bit.
All right, mate.
Nice.
Get to the pub. Get to the pub. Get to the chopper. It's always been a laugh with when Rev drops in. I always have a giggle with him.
Get to the pints.
Yeah. But no, I'm really looking forward to next weekend. I really am. I've been looking forward to it since he invited me. So, and it'll be nice to actually meet up with some of the others. You know, I've met Pat before, obviously, and there's some of the others I know as well. So it'd be nice to be able to shake their hand and say hello.
Yeah. I've got to be. If he is going live tomorrow, I've kind of got to be there, make a note of the time. There's some shit, to find out what this kernel power thing is that's shutting his PC down. Because we've identified, we found it in the event log, so we know it is definitely a power thing. But we know it's not his power supply unit because he has actually replaced that. So
he bought a bigger one, didn't he? A new one.
Yeah. So we've gone through some settings tonight. So hopefully tomorrow we might have sorted it out. Taking his PC out of gaming mode yesterday, I believe. I'll put it like, so because there were a lot of people saying it's set up for gaming. So hopefully,
well, what
tomorrow
I'm
might
going
go
to do when
smooth.
I come down, he said he's got another monitor put on the table so we can all see the chat. But I'm going to bring. I said I'll bring my laptop as well. I can have that on the table in front of me, so I can react in the chat as well. I'll go in to the stream.
Yeah, that's something I'd do as well. I'll be sat in front of my laptop as well.
Just have it, obviously muted. And because my mic, I mean, you can hear it picking up Heather in the background there. I'm taking that down as well, and we're hoping that can sit in the middle of the table, and it should pick everybody up in front of it to about 8 foot either side.
Mind you, the one that Rev came on with initially was picking him up.
Yeah, well, that was 6 foot away, but is a more.
And I think that was his VR headset. I'm not sure. It's something like it.
Well, I said I'd bring mine down and my headphones anyway as well, and because me and Dan are coming down Friday, so we should be able to sort it out between us somewhere.
Evening, Paris.
Evening, Murph. But I'm really looking forward to that. And for me as well, it's a big adventure. I haven't been on a train for over 30 years.
Jesus. I think
so that's going to be all new to me.
I don't mind train ride. Well, coming from Cumbria, going down to Yorkshire, that's a nice train ride.
I always drive for Cumbria.
Are you going through towards Leeds? You go over at Ribblehead Viaduct through Dales, wouldn't you?
Yeah. No, don't go towards Leeds. I go through Keighley, Skipton Way, Foster Square.
We go straight up the bloody motorway. Come off it towards Penrith, and that's it. Sillett, next stop.
In fact, actually, I don't think that leg's open anymore, is it? Ribblehead?
I think no idea. I don't ring a bell.
Well, they've had a lot of problems down there this week with flooding again, and up there with flooding again, haven't they?
I thought most of flooding were down south.
Yeah,
we've had rain up here, but it hasn't been as bad at south.
There was that bridge that they didn't. Where was it? that bridge they rebuilt?
Which one? Cockermouth?
Was it Cockermouth?
No, Workington, where police officer lost his life.
No, Cockermouth.
Cockermouth, the one that they replaced, and they got all that running, and half a building fell down next to it.
Right. There were another bridge that collapsed in Workington, in Cumbria.
Yeah,
quite
we
fair.
do
About,
know-
it must have been about 10, 11 years ago now.
Because we stayed between Silloth and Maryport.
I was wondering who told me about that caravan park, and guess who stayed there last weekend? My niece and my ma and my stepdad.
We have a cottage that we rent down there.
Yeah, I was wondering because I remember I was thinking, I thought, who told me about that caravan park up that way? It's not like it's like static homes, isn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About half mile inland up the road from us.
Yeah.
We're
My
right
family from Bradford stayed up there.
Literally, we're on Dub Mill Point between Silloth and what's the little place? Where where the ice cream shop is.
Allenby.
Allenby.
Yeah.
We're actually in Allenby.
If I go down the bottom of the lane to the beach, it's only about 50 yards away. I can see Allenby down the beach.
Oh, not far from me. I'm only in my team.
Named after Lord Allenby, eh?
Most days you'll find us on Silloth Prom fishing.
Or Maryport.
Or Maryport Pier.
Maryport, I used to live there. I loved it when I moved there, when I first moved up. Used to get up in the morning, get me coffee in a cup, go down to the docks, just sit there and watch sea. Do you know what I mean? Coming from city in England and that.
But you know the old
loved it.
concrete jetty that goes out with the little lighthouse thing on the end?
In Maryport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was where I took Heather for her first ever sea fishing experience. And she sat out there in a forceful gale with horizontal fucking rain till 3 o'clock in the morning, more or less, just to catch the first fish. And she did it.
Yeah, she will do because she's got female pheromones, isn't it? Fish are attracted to the female pheromones.
Oh, you could throw anything in the water on the backing tide there, and the doggies coming out the harbour.
There's no need to take it away from your wife, but they are.
Honestly, mate, I have never ever seen anybody so chuffed to catch her first fish.
But it's got nothing to do with female hormones because I didn't touch the bait.
No,
or
I do.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So, it was just pure skill.
Yeah.
Usually, I cast for her as well because of her hip. If she tries to cast too much, she's going to throw her hip out.
And you don't trust me.
And I don't trust you.
Hey, Mrs. W, are you sure it wasn't an estrogenically caught fish? You didn't use your womanly wiles on the fish.
But it's amazing the amount of people that will walk down the prom and say, "Oh, you're fishing with 3 rods," and she's the first one to stand up. Nope, that one there is mine.
No, yeah. It's same in Whitehaven, wet lighthouses as well. You see them all up on wet wallies.
Yeah,
they're all stood there. Boom.
Yep.
Every day, you're guaranteed you can go down there any day week. There's somebody there fishing.
And it is actually a rod and reel. I bought it for Christmas a couple of years back. That's what she wanted, so that's what she got.
Not that I've got much choice.
But the one I've got her is a bit heavy and long, and I'm going to look into getting her a lighter one.
So there is a fair bit of free food up here. To be fair with you, even up coast, you just got to be careful what you catch because you do get the guy around checking on you.
Yes, and especially with the bass now because it is actually in law on the bass size. It's not just the agency sizes. And there's also a closed season on bass now when you're not allowed to take them.
I didn't know that because I remember when I was a kid, I used to go sea fishing with my mate's dad. Well, we used to just get them and fucking smack them against rocks to knock them out.
The length limit, size limit goes.
I used to go see bass fishing.
And that is on bass, it's 43 centimeters. You're not allowed to take more than 2 fish away. And between December and February, I think it is, you're not allowed to fish for them at all.
That's shit. Why is there a shortage of them or something?
They're coming back now, but the bass takes about 10 years to get to full breeding age.
So what's been taking? Because we were abundant with them, weren't they? So is it the trawlers?
No, it's the Spanish and the French with these big new super boats. They were out there and they were wiping out whole shoals.
Fucking wankers.
Most of the bass you'll see in the shops here, unless it's on the coast and line caught, they're the tiny little things. They're only about a pound in weight. They're actually farmed.
Yeah, it's like you see if you go over Scotland area where I think it's near Shetland, you see if you go like Google Maps, you'll see loads of like rings.
Yeah, that's
rings, fishing farms.
Yeah, actually.
It's a bit shit that we're restricted to fishing our own waters. Yeah, other countries are all right to come in and fucking take the whole fucking show.
Never ever
strippers of his own fucking food source.
Never ever buy Norwegian
bloody Spanish
salmon. They are one of the most contaminated fish in the world ever since Chernobyl.
Which salmon?
Norwegian salmon, that farm salmon. Yep.
But never mind that. What about the way they speak? I am a salmon. They come over here stealing our fish jobs.
I'm just wondering how much of the Western fish might be still infected from. Was it Is it Fukushima? The one, nuclear
CV-19.
No, the one that went off in Japan.
And the other one was 3 Mile Island.
Yeah, I was tracking that for a while, but and I could see how it could infect us, even though there's a barrier between Australian and that area sea and to New Zealand, and that there's a barrier of how the sea moves.
Yeah,
but fish travel from them areas, you see, so they can get affect other fish and shit.
Well, we've even got tuna off the south coast again now, down in Cornwall every year. But you're not allowed to fish them. They're classed as a crown fish, and you're not allowed to land them and sell them. And there's big fines for doing so if you ain't got the right license as well.
No fucking way.
Yeah. It's
not about knowledge. You just
like
need
swans.
Tuna are quite, people don't believe it, but the tuna you eat in the can is.
Oh, I believe it, Roger. I believe it.
They're skipjack tuna. There's never ever going to be a shortage of them. They're like mackerel. But the big stuff that's used for sashimi and stuff like that, that's where the money is. I mean, one fish can be worth up to $1 million, depending on how the flesh is. Whether it's
Australian dollars, you mean?
Eh?
Australian dollars.
American dollars. And the biggest market, the Japanese will pay an absolute fortune.
£800,000, isn't it?
Yeah, for tuna.
I have seen footage of tuna that is, as you say, Roger, not the skipjack, because as you were describing, but like these massive bloody lunks of fish.
Yeah, they're usually
and
called
then other ones that must be the skipjack.
They're only about that big, the ones they use for the canned tuna. You'll see they're striped. They're very bony as well compared to bigger tuna. But it's normally the yellow fin, occasionally blue fin. They're the prized ones. And every year in Cornwall, they issue, I think it was last year, they issued 22 licenses for boats to actually fish for tuna. But it was more a scientific expedition because all they were doing was taking measurements, fit tags. I think the only one that was brought to land was for scientific research and because it had got injured while being caught, if I remember rightly, something like that. But anybody else catching up, John Locker, the Fish Lockers, he's got a video on YouTube and he's caught a couple on there. out of his little boat, which is less than a 20-foot boat, believe it or not. And even he on there, he said, you're not even allowed to bring them onto the boat to get the hooks out. You've got to unhook them in the water.
Fuck me.
Sharks,
It's political correctness gone mad.
yes. Tuna
Or health and
recovering.
hygiene, whatever they used to call it, health and safety.
Yeah, the tuna are recovering. The bass are recovering. And contrary
That's
to
good to know.
belief, sharks are recovering quite a bit as well. Mainly, and I do believe it's because of the shifting currents at the moment, that they're ranging more and more away from their home territory to find new food sources.
Did you ever
Now-
hear this old corny old joke? How do penguins make pancakes?
Go on, then.
With their flippers.
With their flippers. I hate penguins. All I see in
I've only just got that joke, actually. It's like they flip the pancake. Oh, Jesus. I thought it was just like they used what they had.
But
Probably
if
the time
anybody
I left the stream, I
know
think.
anything about what's happening out there with that, there's a guy who runs his own channel on here, Retro on his bikes, and he's actually working on one of the scientific research vessels out there, the fishery vessels. And he doesn't talk a lot about that side of it, but if you want to know any answers to questions, he will find the answer for you.
Is it one man Quora?
Yeah, he is actually, I think he's an engineer on the boat, to be honest. But I've asked him a few questions in the past, and he will go and find out the scientific answer, or, that sort of thing.
Mm.
Right,
Literally.
guys, we've reached the appointed
I'm
time,
back.
unfortunately, and my stomach is rumbling. So,
Okay. Good in
before I
there.
go, I would like to thank the newcomers to the panel, Brody,
Yep.
Sean. Lovely to see you in here, guys. The rest of you in here goes without saying, as always. Respects to you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody in the chat, again, respects for your support. It's nice to see you all in here, and the attendance is growing. That's nice. I don't really care about the numbers, as you know, but it's nice to see that there's more people watching. There won't be a stream next week, obviously, because I'm on the road, I'm traveling. But please feel free to look us up on Saturday night, because it is going to be an absolute fucking blast. I can believe it. But with that, as always, before we drop out, guys, stay safe, stay strong, stay free, and a big thank you for tech support and Mrs. W behind me there. As always,
Yes, Mr. W.
I always forget her, love her, and she sits there and she does do quite a lot. So I will
Put
see
an
you all
apostrophe in the
next week.
chat if you like Mrs. W.
Everybody loves me. I know that.
And I will catch you all in the week in the chat on the videos. Take care and stay safe.
Take care, guys.
Right.